Welcome to session 2 of A Day with Zenler. And me and Alice have just finished our Marketing Your First Course challenge. We've just come off air there, and Alice is jumping straight in here to do an hour session. So, big applause for Alice for doing this. So she's going to be looking at social media content today. And I can hand straight over to you, can't I, Alice?
Yes, absolutely. You can, David. Thank you so much. It's been a great week. I've got to spend so much time with you this week.
It's been real fun. We've had a lot of fun. It's always nice to enjoy the job.
It is. It is. And as a matter of fact, that's a good point, because that is part of what we're going to be talking about when we talk about social media content today, is enjoying what you're doing and what you're creating. So that's a good segue, David.
There you go. It's almost like I planned it.
Exactly. And we didn't, but we did. Maybe we did.
I don't know. Well, I'm going to leave it to you. I'm going to go and I'm going to let you get on with it. Otherwise, I'll just annoy you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, David. I appreciate it. Okay. So today, we're going to talk about creating social media content and really having a strategy, and not just any social media content or strategy, but, the goal with your social media is to drive that traffic to your site, right? There's some sort of a result that you're looking for when it comes to creating content. And one of the things that I'm going to do is, because I don't see comments here in Zoom, so I'm just going to pull up on my phone, make sure that it's muted so you don't hear background noise, so that I can make sure that I have access to comments on the live stream, because there we go. You made it. Yay. Thank you, Ellis. Good morning from Arizona. Okay. And Jacqueline's here. So you all were with us in the marketing challenge, and we did talk about a little bit about content in there too. So we're going to talk more about content, and if you're catching this and you didn't participate in the marketing challenge, don't worry. Everything that we're going to be talking about is sort of self-contained for this, so you don't need to have taken that in order to have benefit from this walkthrough. So the first thing that I just want to talk about a little bit is the value of having a really good content strategy for your social media, and how that can really be a powerful tool for you, because what it does is it helps you build those relationships. It helps you promote engagement, which we know can drive those sales, and we're going to talk more about that. I know a lot of you are struggling with getting that engagement on social media. Helps you build brand awareness, which is always good for sales, right? Having brand awareness helps build your credibility and your social proof, which should not be confused. Social proof and vanity metrics are totally different things. So we'll talk a little bit about that too. Having a really great content strategy for social media can also help you collect testimonials. And we always need testimonials, because that does boost the social proof as well, right? And the right content strategy can even help you provide customer service. It can help you improve your client retention, and it can help you get referrals. So there's a lot of benefits to having the right content strategy for your social media. So many businesses are really missing the strategy piece that's behind the content for social media. And how do you know if you need a strategy? Number one, you are posting very sporadically to social media, and I call that the spray and pray method, right? If you're using the spray and pray method, then you need a strategy for your content. If you're not really seeing any financial returns, if you can't track that people are moving from social media to your site and joining your list and buying your courses, if there's no financial return there, then you need a content strategy. And if you're noticing Again, engagement. If you're noticing a drop in engagement, then you have a content strategy already, then it might be time to sort of revise it and look it over, right? So an effective strategy that you create is going to help you really implement. And we talked a little bit about this in the marketing challenge as well. It helps you feel confident in showing up for your audience on a more consistent basis. It helps you to have fun. If you have a strategy and you have a plan, it really helps you have fun. And that's one thing that we know is that if you're not having fun with your social media, then what happens is that can come across to your audience, right? If you're feeling really anxious and like, oh, I need sales and I need this and I want engagement from this, then people can kind of tell that you're not enjoying what you're doing and they're not going to engage with you. They're going to stay far away from that. So, find a way to identify things that you and your audience will love. It's going to help you focus on those channels that make the most sense for you, where your audience shows up. Right? That's really important. I talk a lot about finding the sweet spot, and you can find the sweet spot with your content between the type of content you like and that your audience likes. You can find the sweet spot of what social media platforms that you show up on, like where your ideal clients are at and where you're at, right? You want to make sure that it's comfortable for you, right? You're going to align that content that you're creating with your brand and with your goals, right? If you have a strategy, you're able to do that and you're able to generate results for your business and you'll be able to measure them, right? If you have that strategy and you're setting goals for it and you have that plan, then you're able to track that, right? So if you have a goal of, I need 100 new people on my list, then that's something that you can measure and that you can track. So yes, okay, just checking. Good morning. Yes, 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 thank you. Okay, so good. Yes, important topic. Okay. Thank you, Carmen. Okay, so good. I'm going to keep checking over at the chat to make sure I don't miss any questions. And one of the things that I want to talk about too is an obstacle that people tend to have when creating a plan and implementing it, right? Showing up on social media. A few years ago, I was a live video coach. And I had a client who was very nervous about video because when they saw the video, I tend to be kind of like happy and excited and outgoing when I'm on camera and very animated, right? I do a lot of hand movements. And when they saw that, they felt like that in order to get that engagement, in order to be successful with that type of social media content, that meant they had to be like me, right? And that nothing could be further from the truth. You can be yourself, even if that's not animated and whatever, and you can still get results and engagement, right? So the goal is for you to be able to find the type of content that is fun for you in a way that feels right for your brand, for your personality, right? So you don't have to be a certain way in order to create content or to show up on video. And if you don't want to show up on video, you don't have to. At least you don't have to start there anyway. There are ways around that. But just know that you can show up as yourself and still be successful. It doesn't have to be like somebody else's. I think that's really important for you to know. So our goal today is really to help you just identify that kind of content strategy that's going for your social media, that's going to work for you and for your audience, right? And so how do we start to identify what those things are? So the first thing is, and I know you've heard this a lot, is you're going to figure out who your ideal clients are for this content, right? You need to know who they are. And a lot of people struggle because the idea of like creating this fake persona of an ideal client that you're talking to just doesn't feel natural. It feels a little awkward and maybe it's confusing. So one of the tips that I will offer for you on identifying who that person is and getting some basic information is to find a real person that you think would be your perfect ideal client. Use your Facebook friends list, find that person, and maybe stalk their profile a little bit. Where do they live? How old are they? Are they married? Do they own or rent? Get a basic profile down, figure out what kind of content they post and share on social media. You can gain some real insights from doing that type of research. The other thing that you can do is you can actually reach out to that person one-on-one and say to them, hey, I'm trying to create content that's valuable to people that are my ideal clients, or people who are in your situation, who, or who have goals similar to yours. And it would be very helpful to me if I could maybe ask you a few questions and you could answer them for me so that I can make sure I'm creating really great content for people like you. And you'd be surprised that people will really respond well to that. You're not trying to sell them. You're not trying to do any of that. You're really just doing that research, right? So that's a way to create that persona of your ideal client, to find out really what it is they're looking for, right? So that's just a tip to do that. And I'm sure there's other trainings in the Zenler universe on looking for your ideal clients as well. Okay. The other thing that you want to do, and we talked about this already, is focus on the right social media platforms, the ones where your clients will show up and your audience shows up, and one that you feel comfortable showing up on, right? So figure out what that is. That's step 2. And look at your audit, like check your social media channels where you're at and see what's happening on them. Does your Facebook page connect well with your website, with your Zenler site? Is the branding consistent? Is the messaging consistent? Is the content you're posting on your social media make sense when people hop over to your website? Does it connect well? Is there a sense of congruency there, right? So you can look at that. You also want to be able to look through your social media and extract information from it. If you don't have an active social media site, this isn't something you'll really be able to do based on your account. But if you have an active social media account, what you can do is you can look and see what is the kind of content people are engaging with, how are they engaging, what are those metrics, and kind of get a baseline for yourself so that as you implement a strategy, you'll be able to see if those metrics are improving or not, right? So that's what you need to do. Okay, let me check on some comments here. I can't see if I too close up. Although prices, hello. Just be okay. So I don't see any questions yet. So let's just keep moving on. I'm so happy to have all of you here with me right now. Okay. So the next thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to set social media goals that give your strategy that purpose, right? So if you have a goal with your social media that you want to, inspire people to take a particular action, then you're going to make sure that you're then that drives the purpose of the type of content you're creating, right? So if your goal is to get 100 people to sign up for a specific type of training, maybe a master class to get them engaged and give them a taste of what you do, then that's going to give your strategy a bit of purpose of why you're posting to social media and what kind of content you can create that will drive them to take that action. right? So that's what you want to do. Set specific goals for specific platforms. So if you're using more than one, which I recommend really starting with one if you haven't mastered doing a lot of social media, focus on one specific platform and set specific goals as it relates to Facebook. Set specific goals as it relates to your YouTube channel. Set specific goals as it relates to Instagram. So look at them individually. You're looking at your content strategy and what your goals are as a whole, but you're setting very specific goals for each of your platforms and what you want to achieve on that platform. Because every platform also has its own unique personality. It has a unique way in which people engage on that platform. So your goals may vary a little bit on those platforms for your metrics. Like maybe on YouTube, it's really great to have like the most having subscribers, and YouTube opens up specific access to features based on your subscriber count. So the subscriber goal may be very important on YouTube, whereas on Facebook, yes, you want more followers, but really the most important thing might be that a lot of people are watching your live video and engaging and commenting and then going over to your website, right? That might be more important than them actually clicking the follow button there. So set goals that are really specific to the platform. Let's see. So we have a question. So if you don't have an active following, could you use Facebook groups to find someone to interview to figure out your ICA? So you could do that. You can use that to sort of investigate where your ideal clients are. But if you don't have an active following, like a social media page, look at your friends list. Who on your friends list do you think would be a great person to be your ideal client? Hi, David.
Hi, Alice. Just come to sort of back you up with any questions that are coming in.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much. I always appreciate that. But if you need a break, it's okay too. I know you've had a long day and will continue to have a long day as well. So, so does that make sense, Kara, or who asked that question? That wasn't Kara. Scooter. Okay. Scooter Wear Club. So yeah, so try to find a specific person. I don't know that you'd want to ask a stranger. The idea is that you're asking someone that you know and trust to sort of give you information, whether they're a follower, whether they're someone on your friends list, whether they're a previous customer or client of yours, to really try to dive into that data. And if you don't have any of those things, like you're in a totally new industry, you don't know anybody that needs this thing right now, then certainly search Facebook groups for people who you think would be your ideal clients. And then you can kind of find data in that group on the questions that they're asking and different types of things. So you can totally do that. Do you have any tips to offer for that part of it, David?
Yeah, I think like you just mentioned, it's really good if you know someone, or I mean generally, it's like I know quite a few people in my industry, and I know the people, and you've got to have the trust of the person as well if you're, so there is that side of it to build the community from, obviously Facebook is a great place for finding out where people hang out in your niche for sure, but you do not go straight into a group that's got thousands of people in it and start promoting your course. It's not a good idea. One, you'll be banned straight away, probably. You'll get a bad reputation as someone who's just spamming the group. So what you want to do is you want to do it very slowly, and you want to be helping and answering questions. And notably, that happens inside our Facebook group. There's lots of people that actually sell their services doing Zenler sites, or they are VAs, and they are answering questions. They spend a lot of time in there, and the reason they do that is they want to show you that they're really helpful and knowledgeable knowledgeable, and they can then, you probably will approach them. And that's how I kind of find the best method, that normally people will PM me. You know, obviously we work for Zenler, and I'm sure Kevin, Alice, and well, me for sure, get lots of emails from people asking if we can build their sites for them and things like that. It's just because we're on here and we know the platform. But this also happens with other people as well, like Eran or Amit. You know, they're getting people, or Angela that we've got on after Alice, and people are contacting her because they are helping out in the group, and they're showing, and they're not pushing their services. I think I don't know what you think about this, Alice, but this kind of time for pushy sales has gone. You know, that was a kind of 80s thing. It's kind of gone now.
Yeah, it was an 80s thing that has hung on and been clinging for dear life for the next couple of decades as well. And it is definitely on the out, like spammy, pushy, cold messages. Some people might say bro marketing tactics, things like that are really more on their way out for sure. Like people are tired of it. And if you're in the B2B space, which I know we talked about using acronyms that people might not know, but it's B2B is business to business. So if you're a business that helps other businesses, like we are on to all of the marketing tactics, all of the weird things. And so if you're using these weird, spammy, kind of awkward tactics, you'll be side-eyed by those businesses. They'll be like, I don't know if I want to work with you if you're using those old school tactics. Do you really know what you're doing? So that can be a thing. In the business to customers, for example, I know we have some dog trainers on Zenler. Consumers aren't always as ahead of the curve as businesses are when it comes to marketing tactics, but they are catching on a lot more quickly, right? Like social media has been around for a long time now. So more and more people are aware of that for sure.
Yeah, you could be forgiven as well. I mean, you know, there's a lot of people coming to the platform. They've just started doing course creation, or they've got their own product that they've launched. And you can understandably, some people come in and they think, well, if I go on a Facebook group that's in my particular niche, if I go on there, I can just post my link in there. You know, and it's because they don't understand it. Sometimes it is that way as well. It's just because they don't understand marketing. They think that's the best way to get stuff out. So sometimes it is ignorance that actually makes people do these things. It's not always a malicious spam to every single group of that product. So there's that to bear in mind. Some of you might have made that mistake, and you realize pretty quickly because you get banned from the group.
Exactly. Yeah. Just be very careful. I'm in groups where I never post. I'm just there to do research. So there's a search feature inside the group. So I'll search things. I'll click on people. I'll scroll. I'll look for questions. I might answer people's questions occasionally if I feel really like called to do so. But mostly I'm there for the research. And so you can have groups like that. And then you can have groups where you're there to really show up as an authority and build your reputation to be known for that thing. We do have several people like myself and David and Kevin, like we are part of the product education team here at Zenler, but we have several members who have been using Zenler from the beginning and who are really pro, as David mentioned a few minutes ago. And they come in to the group and they answer questions for people. They're not right away saying, here, if you want my help, come buy my course on this or come pay me for this service. But they come in and they answer questions and they help people. And now people happen to know that those are really great resources of people who know Zenler and who know how to build landing pages or websites. And so now they are known for that thing, and people will go to them to buy their courses and to pay them for training. So without having to ask for the sale, just by being helpful and providing answers. So that's a good way to engage on social media and find people that will potentially be your customer for sure.
Yeah, we got some more questions coming.
Oh, okay, great.
So we got one from Cara Peterson. She's saying about Facebook changed to Meta. Oh heck, Alice! I just got a whole new look from Meta, and they combine the Insta and Facebook for business, and have us posting from a new look. Although I still cannot do H1, H2. Have you any suggestions about walking through the new format? She would love to hear that.
Well, here's the thing. You can cross post. They give you, because Meta has both Instagram and Facebook, they've really combined it because quite a few businesses, especially businesses, have both a Facebook and an Instagram account. And so what they've done is they've combined the business suite for you so that it's all in one place, which is actually really nice. It can be overwhelming and it can be confusing because it's like all of the sudden everything's together and you're like, wait, this isn't how it used to work, right? So my biggest suggestion is to get comfortable using it inside of there and figure out how you can still post separately to Instagram and Facebook, or you can post together. So it's just figuring out what the best strategy for you is. What's the number one platform for you? Is it Facebook or is it Instagram? Because if it's Facebook, posting to Instagram with like 20 tags, 20 hashtags on it, and then sharing that over to Facebook, it just doesn't look great, right? If your main platform is the Instagram, then you don't really care. You just want to make sure that your Facebook page has fresh content on it. Then the hashtags on the Facebook post doesn't matter, if that makes sense. Like, you want the platform that's your number one focus to have content that feels like it's curated for that platform specifically. And if it's Facebook and you're sharing those Instagram hashtags over, that's totally, we know that you've done that, right? Because Facebook, people who post on Facebook don't post 20 hashtags with it. So it just looks awkward, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and we talked about that in the marketing challenge. It's like, get to know, don't go overboard. Don't have too many social media channels, especially if you don't know them. Build them up. Get to know your platform really well before you even think about going into another platform, and make sure that platform, that social media channel, is serving your particular niche, because there's lots that do not.
Absolutely.
So I've got a question here from Lorelei, and she's put, I'm going to start with a clean slate in mind of how to create and share content with purpose for our products and services. I'm missing that element. So I think she's just starting off. I'm not sure it's a question.
Hi, Lorelei. So when you're starting out and you're starting with a fresh slate and fresh content on your site, and you're trying to grow a social media following and engage that following so that you can drive them back to your site, one of the great types of content that you can create for your social media to do that is teaser content. And we did talk a little bit about this in the marketing challenge, but not too much. And so what is teaser content? Teaser content is that you're giving people a taste of what's available, enough so to entice them to want to come over to your site to get more information, right? So think of that like when you're in the grocery store and they're giving out the little free samples, you're getting a little taste, and their hope is that you like that taste of that sample and you're going to go over to the cooler and grab a pack of that and put it in your cart and go check out, right? So you want to create teaser content for your social media. So if you have, whether you're using blogging, and Kevin does have the blogging challenge coming up in February. So if that's something, and I'm sure David is off to grab that link right now to pop it in the chat for you all. If that's something that you're interested in, and I highly recommend that you do that, then that gives you some core content. So let's say, Lorelei, I know you're doing readers and authors, and your site looks beautiful, by the way. I just love watching the development from having just started and going through the tutorials. Lorelei is a great example of just following those tutorials and the quick start guide and getting through, and she has a beautiful site that's really been created from that. So for your readers, maybe you have a post of, the 11, the 10 top 10 books in XYZ genre, or whatever that looks like for you. And then maybe on social media, what you do is you create a graphic about and a post about something that you love about one of those books. And if they want to learn more about, if they want to know 9 more books that you love, hey, come over here, right? So that's the idea of teaser content. You're giving them a taste. And if they're readers who read this particular genre, then they're interested in that. Ooh, there's 9 more books in this thing that she has listed. Let me go see what those are. Have I read those books? Or the 10 most surprising books in this genre that you'd actually love or that you've never heard of, right? And you name one of those on your social media and say, hey, there's 10 more over on my blog that you can read about. And that gets people to click through. So that's the type of content that you can put on social media. That's a piece of what's on your website that teases people to come over and get to your website and do more. I hope that makes sense. Teaser content is important for driving that traffic and engagement and the value, right? You took the time to write that post. If you've done that ideal client research, if you know what they're looking for, you know what they're interested in, and you're creating content around that, then you can share pieces of that onto your social media that will drive them back. Yes, David.
Perfect. Yeah. So we got another question from Judy. Judy was on earlier. She's a voice coach, and she's asking, should we ask people who are a clarity call if they are interested in taking a few if they're taking a few lessons, or if they would like to work with me? I think that's maybe people that she already knows. Taking a few, I think, free lessons. So giving something out for free to sort of get something back, I guess, or for people to, for those same people to tell people about the course or whatever.
Oh, there's a lot of different strategies you can use for that. And it just depends on, what you're offering and how you feel about it, right? You don't have to. And so there's this controversy about giving value and also giving away everything you do for free and not charging for it, right? You can provide value to people by showing up and providing certain types of content for them without giving away all that you do for free and then attracting a lot of freebie seekers. So there's a lot of different strategies. You could have a PDF of some kind or a checklist. You can create your course, and Zenler is amazing because it allows you to give a free preview of a particular lesson within your course that is that sample content, right? It gives them a little taste of what your course is about so they know if they want to buy it. And that way you're not creating extra content for that. If you have high ticket type products and services, then a clarity call or some type of a call might be necessary. However, if your courses aren't high ticket, then you don't need a clarity call for those things, because I'm not sure if that's what you meant, having that sales call with them to get them to buy. What is your price range? Maybe you could tell me that and I can tell you, because here's what happens. For example, if you have a program that's $500, right? And you offer a payment plan for that $500. The fact that you've offered a payment plan for the $500 makes people look at that and go, oh, that's expensive. There's a payment plan, right? Whereas if you offer that thing for $500 and there's no payment plan option, it's just one-time fee, $500, then it doesn't, then they don't feel like you think it's expensive, right? Because you think it's expensive and you think people need a clarity call for it, then they're going to think it's expensive. So some things don't need a clarity call. It's like, hey, this is $200. This is $500. Either you want it or you don't. Like, here's a little preview of this lesson. So you can see, for some people, it's the style of how content's presented. It's what additional information they have to support, say, the video training. Like, do they have workbooks and other documents, right? They want to know that, and that training will be beneficial to them and their style of learning. So if you give them that little peek, that's plenty of information to know whether that's true for them.
Yeah, that's a good point. Can I just chirp in here as well?
I love
Not on
that.
Twitter, but so yeah, like Alice was saying, like there's a few different ways to do this. One is you can actually do a free course, couldn't you? So you could do that. You can also do the free preview, like Alice just mentioned. So, but the only thing with that, with the free preview, is that they are getting it for free. So you're not capturing their information as a lead. So what you can do is you can set up your pricing option as a tier. So the first section, maybe you've got that as free, and you can set that in there as a tier for free. So someone can go into the course, they'll go through that. When they get to the paid section, it will say you need to upgrade to get this part of the course, and that can be a double whammy, because one is you're getting people to come in for free, so you're catching their details and you know that they're interested in that tier. The other side of it is they're coming in and they're getting an upsell when they hit the live part of the course. So it's a double way of doing that. Now on the other side of it, with the high ticket items, yeah, if you've got a course and it's maybe 3,000, then you might want to actually do and go in and see someone, as Alice was speaking about. However, there is the other option of doing clarity calls with groups of people. So if you've got a lower ticket item and you've got 30 people in there and all 30 or 20 of them buy it, then it suddenly becomes worth doing. So it's all a time management point of view, and how much time have you got to commit to do these sort of things as well, which is a really important part of it.
Absolutely. And I love that distinction of giving like one module of the course as that's the free section. And because it's free, they still have to register. So that's a really good point. I like that. That's a good strategy, David. So if that's what you're thinking of doing for a strategy, is using that course, but there are lots and lots of other lead generation strategies that you can use as well. It just depends on what makes sense for you and what makes sense for your audience. Like, what are they really interested in? And what is the kind of content? And because this is, I think this is where people get confused or get into this sort of habit of giving stuff away for free all the time and never charging for their services. You have to think about what is the thing that someone in your audience needs in order to make a buying decision with you. So sometimes that's what you base what that free content or that lead content is. What do they need to know? What do they need to be able to achieve? What can you help them with in a smaller way that will help them make that buying decision for your course or your program? So sometimes you want to think about that.
Nice one. So
I'm sorry, I was looking at the Facebook. I was trying to look at the chat. I should leave that to David. I think he has easier access to the chat than I do.
yeah, I'm having a look. Right, so this is a kind of a geeky thing. I don't know if you know, I don't know. I just do it visually. But Laura Ly's asking, like on Instagram, I know the first 75 characters are important because they show. So, and visible as a hook. Yep. So if you put a link in there. But what is it for Facebook? You can do a quick Google. I don't know if Alice knows, but I generally, when I'm writing the post, I see it. You can always, when you post it, you can always go back in and edit it if you need that link to be higher. And this is important for YouTube as well as Facebook.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, what was she asking? How many characters that show on the post? It doesn't matter, Lorelei, because here's the difference. It's different on Android and it's different on Apple. It shows differently on those two devices. So it'll depend on which device. And I don't know the exact number anymore, but the preview on Apple is different than the preview on Android.
Yeah, I think if you check out Facebook page and just Google it, it will tell you where you should be. So it will give you that median area, because I know that does that in YouTube. So that'll give you that kind of median. Right, another question for you, Alice. It's hard to know your platform when it keeps changing.
Oh, yes. Well, that's the thing about knowing your platform, is making sure if you're using the platform regularly, then you're aware of the changes that are happening as they happen. So if you're not using, if you're a Facebook person and that's your chosen platform, you need to be consistently using all of the tools that Facebook provides you to use to communicate. There's video, right? They have the little audio rooms now. There's text post, graphic post, on personal profiles. You have polls, like they have all sorts of options for you. And the more that you use that variety of content types, the more comfortable you are with it, and you'll know when a change comes, right? You will know it because it'll be happening. If you're not using all of the tools and the platform changes, then that's when you get to a place where you're like, oh, wait, where's that thing? Why doesn't this work? Because you weren't using it to begin with. Now, when it comes to the algorithm, there are lots of bits we don't know about algorithms. There's lots of secrecy around Google's own optimization and their algorithms, Facebook, social media platforms. There's a lot of things we don't know. There's a lot we do know, and they tell us in their terms of service. So that's one of those places that gives you a really solid idea around what a platform wants from you and what it doesn't want for you. And whenever a platform is getting ready to update their terms of service, chances are that means they've updated their algorithm, they've made some changes, they've set some new rules, and that's a good idea for you to be on top of that as it's happening. And trust me, there are people out there shouting it from the rooftops that these changes are coming. You just have to know who those people are to follow, so that on that platform, if it's Facebook, if it's Instagram, if it's LinkedIn, there are people who that's all they do is stay on top of terms of service and platform changes, and they let you know about it. So whatever your chosen platform is, make sure you're following someone that will notify you and that you're staying on top of it. I don't know about you, but I have a 5-digit number on my email.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not. I try and keep up with these things, but it changes all the time. I just stick to best policies, keep
Yeah.
everything, try and get catchy with some of the titles, make it an engaging post, and be genuine and not spam. And I think if you stick to that, it's generally going to be good anyway. But you have to follow if you are in a platform and you're using that platform all the time, you need to know it, and you need to, if someone from that platform is emailing you saying this is changing or you're getting something pop up, then as Alice says, do it, because they want that information. Sometimes I know with Facebook it can be a little bit of a thing of privacy. They want so much information, but that's your business, so kind of like, otherwise don't be there with
Yes,
those
yes,
things.
yes. Absolutely.
Right, so we have Jill now. Jill, I think it's Jill from Scouter Wear Club. So she's talking about, can you address how much free teaser content seems to be the main theme of today? Free teaser content one should offer. So she said, I've really struggled with this. I tend to give too much away. I have done a ton of Facebook lives to try to draw people in, but no traction.
Okay, so I would love it if you popped a link in, because I'll look at it afterwards, to your Facebook page so that I can see your videos. So Facebook live video or any kind of content that you're posting on your business page. Number one, how many follow? The first question I want to know is how many people are following your page? How many of those are real people that are your ideal clients? A common thing I mentioned vanity metrics earlier. One of the things that people tend to do when they get a Facebook page is they send it out to all of their friends and family to like it, so that they start to get likes. They go into these really large Facebook groups and participate in these ladder posts where everybody likes each other's pages, and those aren't your ideal clients. So what happens is, for example, I have a friend who sells a direct sales product of some makeup, and they have a business page, and they also have a group that's full of other direct sales representatives for this company. So what they do is they come up with these like chains in those groups. So now all of these other makeup ladies that sell this same product like this person's page. So what does Facebook's algorithm say? Oh, people who sell makeup like this page. So I'm going to show this page to more people who like makeup, to sell makeup, right? Not to women who want to wear makeup, but to women who sell makeup. You're not trying to promote your page to people who sell makeup. You're trying to promote your page to people who want to buy your makeup. Except that's not the audience that Facebook sees as for your page now, because their algorithm knows who has liked your page. So if a whole bunch of people that are not your ideal clients like your page, number one, they're not really interested in your content, so they're never going to engage anyway. Number two, Facebook starts to show your page to more people like them who are not your ideal clients. So that's the first thing I would ask, is how relevant are the people on your page? Are they real people, and are they your ideal clients? That's number one. Number two is are those live videos really the kind of content that those people want? And are you describing it in the right way? One of the things we did in the marketing challenge is we kind of went over that keyword research and titles and headlines. We're having a really great headline to entice people to want to click on the video to get the information is going to be really important. Are you using too much industry jargon and mumbo jumbo that they don't understand what the video is about? Are you talking in plain language that your ideal customer will understand? And do they see the value in what that live video is? So those are the first things that I would ask about that content. And maybe one of the ways that you can do, I know I can't remember, it might have been Cara Somebody in the marketing challenge has a Facebook group and they have a business page. And should they focus the business, the Facebook group is private, the business page is public, and should they post, you know, more content on the public page and all of that? And that's another place where you could do teaser content, right? So you can say on your Facebook page, hey, I'm going live in my private group today training on XYZ. Here's a couple of tips. Maybe you have a graphic with a few tips about that thing. If you want more information on this, join my Facebook group where I'm going to do this live training, right? So that's a way to give them teaser content on your page and then get them to join your group where you're giving the deeper live training. So people have taken an action by joining your group. You get a little bit more visibility with the members in your group, and you know that they're really interested because they went through the trouble of joining the group to get that content, right? So that's kind of a way to help boost your engagement on a video. I hope all of that makes sense.
Yep, perfectly there. You've got loads of comments coming on saying it's wow, that's amazing information. Okay. So super excited. So it's really good. It's really good stuff that you said. A lot of it is about sort of lead generation really, and conversions on free traffic and things like that. I'd also point out that I have a lot of Udemy courses. Some of my Udemy courses are free. I always use the bonus at the end of that course to send people to my Zenler site. Mm-hmm. So interlinking things across to aim them all where you want them to end up is the master plan, you know, however you want to do it. You might send them on a route, but you always send them back to where they can buy things from. So that's great. I can see Angela's popping up in a minute. She'll be live on. Yeah. So Alice is just finishing off, but I don't know if there's any, I don't think there's any more questions come in for you, okay, Alice.
There's one more piece that I want to talk about with the content. I know we're wrapping up. We have 10 minutes left. So there's one more piece that I want to talk about with your social media content, and that is content curation. And that's the idea that you share other people's content. So when it comes to creating content for your social media and engaging people, sometimes people can get fatigued, right? They just have so much information around a particular thing. They're interested in it, but they're just fatigued with it. Sometimes you can get fatigued of having to constantly come up with content and have this plan to post onto your social media. So curating content, and because we do have a lot of dog trainers in the group, here's sort of like just an example or an idea of how you could curate content. So you're a dog trainer and you're talking about the different dogs, you're talking about training techniques, you might even be talking about issues around dogs, but this is animal. So as someone who's dealing with animals, something that your animal lovers might be interested in, 80% of the people that I know in person in real life and that I know on social media, all of their pets are rescue pets, all of them. So that's like 80% rescue pets. So if you're in an industry where you deal with animals, then finding a local shelter or even a national rescue website where you can share their blog content or images of animals that are up for adoption or that have been rescued, that could be really good content for a dog training site, because, and it depends on what kind of dogs you train. Are most of your ideal clients coming in with rescue pets? Because if they are, then curating some content from some rescue pet sites and cross promoting, right? So if you hook up with a local rescue, you can share their content on your Facebook page and tag them in it, right? Giving them extra visibility. When people adopt their pets and dogs and their dogs need training, they can tag you in posts that they put on their page so that their users and their followers will then be able to get training for the dogs they've adopted, right? So that's a really great partnership where you're able to curate content and leverage someone else's audience to get more eyes on your content. I mean, there's a lot more things that you can do, but we only had a couple of minutes. So I just wanted to put that out there, that you don't always have to be the one responsible for creating the content. A little bit of time ahead of time, you can plan to make a list of related Facebook pages, related blogs, related type of content that your ideal clients would enjoy.
That's brilliant, Alice.
Yes.
So yeah, I think we've got. You're going to jump. Are you going to jump on the chat and answer any sort of outstanding questions? I don't think there is many because I think you've covered them all.
Yeah. Okay, that's fabulous. Yes, I will. I will hop in the chat, and I will also be around throughout the day. I can pop in and kind of check it. You can tag the chat. Tag me in the chat if you have questions, or in a reply somewhere that you want to point me in that direction, and I will definitely come in and answer.
Brilliant. So we got some last bits. Alice, I would have loved more about curated content. This is fabulous to learn.
So maybe that will be my next day with Zenler training, will be curating content.
Yeah, I think from these questions that have come along, there's actually a challenge forming.
Yeah, I know we have two, right? We have the funnel challenge, right? And now we have the content curation challenge. So yeah, there's a lot of things that we can do. So I definitely think content curation is a very deep subject where there's lots of ideas that we can talk about. So I'm happy to do more on that for sure.
Yeah, and it's really good. I mean, when the team gets together, we have our little sessions after some of the office hours and things, and you start to brainstorm, come up with ideas, and obviously you add messages in there, so it gives us more ideas. And then we start to think, what can we do with this? You know, and you just play around in the platform and you think, well, I think I'll use it for this. Mm-hmm. And so I'm telling like Alice or Kevin, and Alice is going, oh, that's good. I've never thought of using it for that. And then she says something and I'm like, oh, I've never thought of using it for that. So it's kind of, you can just bounce off each other. So
maybe that's what we need. We just need a live co-working session where it's just us brainstorming ideas, and members can pop in and brainstorm things too.
Oh, no, that would be great. So maybe we build a site and we brainstorm it as we build it.
That's a good idea. I like it. See, we're brainstorming ideas right here live on the Day with Zenler. Ideas are always popping. It's always great to have that back and forth and a variety of perspectives. So always keep that in mind for sure.
Fabulous. All right. So that was Alice. So thank you, Alice, so much for doing a whole hour with us today.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you all so much. Welcome, Angela. I'm glad that you're here today. And with that, I will say bye for now.
See you later, Alice. Bye.
Bye.
Right, now we have, so that was Alice's slot there. Pretty amazing stuff. Always gets a lot of attention as well. So now we have Angela. She can come on whenever you like.
Hi.
Hiya.
Hi.
Hi,
how are
Angela.
you?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, really excited to introduce Angela. She's, you know, really nicely offered to come on a day with Zenler. So, guys, you might not have met her, but she's very active on our Facebook group. She's always helping loads of people out. She's one of our power helpers, and it's a real privilege to have her on here. So I want to just share her website with you because it's pretty cool and it's all Zenler. So this is her website here. It's really nice. I really like it. It's really polished, and she's a digital coacher. So you do coaching. Angela's going to talk about herself in a second. And you can see the site here, and you can sign up for free newsletters and things inside this site. I'll put the link inside the chat so you can jump on. And it's really nice that she's on here, so you guys can actually really meet her, which is always a lovely thing. So I'll put that in the chat. So Angela, do you want to just do a quick intro about yourself?
Yes, absolutely. First of all, I want to say thank you for having me here. And I want to excuse for the sound because I'm out traveling. So I'm in Italy right now, and I have my microphone and everything, but the room is huge. So it's kind of an echo, but I really hope that you can hear me perfect, right? Otherwise, you need to let me know. Yeah. So my name is Angela, and as you can hear, my first language is English. I'm actually from Sweden, but I live in south of Spain, but I'm planning to move from Spain to Italy. So I'm here in Italy checking things out, actually. So I work by helping my clients to scale or grow their businesses doing live converting events. So that is webinar, masterclasses, live launches, or challenges. I also help my clients craft one-to-many high-ticket offers. So mainly I work with service providers, it's coaches, consultants, not so much just course creation, but most goes from having a course to want to craft a program where they have some kind of coaching inside, right? So that is what I do, and I work with marketing, sales, and systems. And the systems is, of course, the ones that I love, webinars, masterclasses, and live launches, because I love to speak. So that is, I hope, that is why I said to you, an hour, you need to stop me because I'm a speaker. So.
Okay, we just hard cut off.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. We love people who've got lots to say.
Yes.
Also, remember, people who've got lots to say, it's normally because they're an authority in their area. Just a little tip: people that run out of things to say, it's normally they're lacking in some area of what they're trying to tell you. You can spot these things quite quickly as well. Mm-hmm. So Angela today, Angela Sundust, is what I pronounce that? I want to say Stardust.
Yeah, no, it's Sundust. So Sundust. It's a Swedish or an English transformation from my Swedish name, actually.
Right.
So, yeah.
It's good. It's nice. I like the name. So Angela is going to talk about that today. There is so much noise and the market gets more and more saturated that there is an urgent need to elevate above that and stand out. This is a massive subject, which Angela's going to try and do in an hour, because it's like, you've probably seen yourself, like you get emails from everybody, you go on social media, and it just kind of blurs into itself and becomes a lot of background noise on a lot of these channels and a lot of the Facebook groups as well that you see. And you just, I don't know, it almost becomes a habit of scrolling through numerous posts without actually really reading them. And how to stand out is going to make you pop, and people are going to take notice of you. And that's what Angela's going to talk about today. So I'm going to hand over to you, Angela, and you can...
Perfect. And I have the Facebook, but if there is any questions, please just interrupt if there comes any questions along the way, because I have... the ones that have been anywhere where I have been live speaking, you know, I share a lot of value. So make sure you have pen and paper ready, because this is going to be some things that is just going to blow your mind that you can easily implement. So I'm not going to talk about things that is hard to do or takes a lot of time. These are actually things that you can implement in your business right now. Because what have happened online is that anyone can start an online business. You just need a phone. You can go out there and you can say that you're an expert, you can copy something and you can sell it, right? That is what have happened. So, and I think it was more when COVID hit, right? Because then everybody wanted to go online. So the market in itself, like the market where everybody hangs out, is starting to get really saturated. I think you can feel it. It's a lot of people. And the problem is that everybody's following everybody. So it's download my 10 fonts to use, download my templates, and everybody do what exactly the other person is doing. And that is not a way to stand out, right? So that is what I wanted to talk about, because it has become the problem. Because you need to elevate from that saturated bottom layer to up here, to actually become the expert and the go-to person for a specific problem. And I think Alice talked a little bit about some of the things. So some of the things is going to build on whatever she already have spoken about. So that was really great, because it's a foundation of marketing, right? But we need to start doing marketing completely different, because it's not only that you actually compete with other people that are doing the same thing that you are doing. You're competing against all these funny cats, all these funny dogs. You guys are competing now for Jason Momoa, he's single, right? So that is what you're competing for as well. Because if you just think about how fast you scroll, you have milliseconds to catch somebody's eyes. Because otherwise you scroll on to the next funny TikTok dance, or you scroll down to the next funny cat, or the next funny meme, or whatever that is going to attract that person. So that is, you're not only competing towards the same market that you are in, you're competing to everything else that is online. So all of a sudden, we have started to become really, really visible. And then another problem that comes in is that we want to be visible, but not too much, because it starts to get uncomfortable, right? We want to stand out, but not too much, so we don't get uncomfortable. But in the end of the day, scaling your business is going to be uncomfortable. And that is something that we just need to get used to, actually. But I hear it a lot that, yeah, I want to sell, but I don't want to do sales because I want to sell in DM. Yeah, I want to stand out, but no, I don't want to do live videos because I feel really uncomfortable. And somewhere along the way, we need to get these two to meet. Okay, we don't want to do live video, but we need to start somewhere. So maybe we should do a small recorded video instead and start building that authority. Because in the end of the day, we need to become expert because the market is getting too saturated. And I have a step-by-step that I'm going to go through with things that you actually can do easy with whatever marketing strategy you are using. This is not a specific strategy. This is things that you can implement really easy, okay? So make sure you tell me if there is any comments, because otherwise I just keep on talking, right?
Angela,
yeah.
What we'll do is, if there are any messages or chats coming in, you can answer them in the group afterwards, because I don't want to spoil the flow. People can just write it down. You can just roll off with it then, yeah?
Yeah, but if there is any questions, so make sure you type them in the comment section while you have them on your mind, so we don't forget them, okay? So first of all, we have, like in marketing, maybe Alice talked about it, we have the attraction. That is the lead generation, right? We want to get attention from our audience to get them to come to us. And then we have the nurturing process that is nurturing the audience that you have attracted. That is your ongoing marketing. And then we have the converting part of marketing, where you do converting events or do sales calls or selling DM. And I'm going to talk mainly about the attraction, when you want the cold leads to come to you, that you actually be seen over everybody else online. So that is the part that I am going to focus mostly on, but also a little bit about the nurturing process for your audience. So first of all, a little tip that I see a lot is that I know not everyone wants to use, now I'm going to focus on Facebook first. So not everyone wants to use their personal profile in business. But what you need to do is to make sure that it's optimized. Because when people see you online posting something, it could be in a group. There are a lot of groups that are not allowing pages to join. So you need to join as your personal profile. And then you start the speaking in that audience. Let's say the new Zenler. So I go in here as a personal profile and I start speaking to that audience, start commenting and start being an expert in answering questions. What happens is that they're going to click on your name. When they go to your profile, you need to have somewhere that they can move on. Where should they go? If they want to contact you, how will they do it? If they want to join your social media, let's say you have a Facebook group, your Instagram, wherever, needs to be linked. So when I come to your page, your profile, I need to be led on. I cannot express how many people that say, yeah, but I'm not getting them. I do a lot of things in group, but I get nowhere. And you click on the page, totally locked. You can't even see that they actually work as a coach on their business. It totally, maybe it says where they live and that is it. So that is something that it shouldn't take me more than 3 seconds when I land on your profile to know if I want to work with you or connect with you, how am I going to do it? That is the number one tips. I didn't have that on my list, but it was something that I thought about when I clicked on a couple of profiles. So that is a foundation, because not a lot of group allows pages. New Zenler group, I think, does. But if you are like in, you have a group about weight loss, probably they don't accept pages, because pages are there to promote, right? If it's an engagement room for people that wants to lose weight. So that can be something that I actually wrote it down. I wrote it down here that I wanted to just make a small tip before we move on, okay? So pen and paper, because now I'm going to go through simple steps. I have, I think, 8 things that you can easily implement to start elevate online above the noise. And the first thing I want you to think about is that in your mindset should shift from being a follower to a leader, okay? There are so many followers, and you can just look online, you can hardly see the difference. And now I'm not talking about branding, colors, and font. I'm talking about being a leader of your market, your brand, your niche, right? So when you go online, you're going to show up as a leader. I'm not a follower, I'm a leader in my market. Whatever I say, I am the leader, I'm the inventor, I'm the trailblazer, right? And that is a mindset shift, that whatever is out there and you like, take it, but make it yours. Be the leader of that. I'm not the only one teaching people how to do webinars, but I have taken whatever I like about webinars here and there, and I turned it into mine. So I am the leader of whatever I believe is working with webinars. So that is a mindset shift, that we need to look at ourselves as leaders. We're not a follower that is going to copy and paste 15 engagement posts online. I'm going to invent those posts. I'm going to take those posts and I'm going to make them mine, because they're my posts. And that is a small, just a mindset shift that easy to implement when you are working with your business, right? The number 2 thing is that your message to your audience needs to be really simple and super clear. People are getting really smart, so we can't be all over the place. We need to focus. We need to go from helping all these areas to become the expert. Because when people want to learn something, so let's say I want to learn how to cook vegan food, what do I search for? How to learn to cook vegan food. If there is a person there saying, hey, I help people cook vegan food, and then there is a person saying, I help people to cook, among everything, okay, vegan food as well, who will I choose? I will choose the expert at vegan food, because I know that this is an expert or whatever that person is doing. If I want to craft an online course, what do I search for? Online course creator. And then all of a sudden there is a person saying, what I do is that I help people create online courses. And then over here it's a person saying, I'm a business coach, I help people with this, and this. Who would you choose? The expert. And that is what have happened. So we need to focus, really focus on a simple and super clear message to our audience, and not be all over the place. Confused people don't look at you at all. If you say that you help women lose weight, and I click on your personal profile and I see that you actually help people with the dogs, people with cats, people doing whatever, and all these other things, will I choose you if I want to do that specific thing, lose weight? Probably not, because I would go to an expert that actually says, this is what I do, I'm an expert at this. This is what I master, right? So here is when we need to be super clear in what we're doing. And Alice talked about it with the dream client, that we need to understand, what are we going to do here? Am I going to help this person with all these things? I will never be an expert. And when the higher the ticket of your offer, the more expert it's going to be, the more focused it needs to be, because people pay for that result, right? So if I want to rebrand my business to scale to from 6 to 7 figures, who do I hire? A business coach or a brand expert? A brand expert. I would never hire a business coach to elevate from 6 to 7 figures. It doesn't make any kind of sense. So, but what happens is that we try to be everywhere. So We try to speak to as many people as we possibly can, but what happens is we speak to no one. So we actually attract no one because your message is a total mess. So super clear, simple message that speak your dream client's language. Alice already said it. Don't use words they don't understand, even if you think they are fabulous, right? And that you can see in a lot of things, especially in course titles and stuff like that. Kind of strange words nobody understands more than you. That is not a word to use. So, and Alice said it as well, when you have done market research, you're going to understand what words that they actually use. Because what you need to understand is that they are here and you are here. You already went through your program, right? Because you had a transformation, or you might be, I can't cook vegan food and now I master cook vegan food. So now I'm going to teach others cook vegan food. You are here, they are still here. This is the message that you need to use, because otherwise you're going to talk over their heads and they're not going to be attracted with whatever you say because it's too confusing. So simple and super clear message with a core outcome. We can add that to that. With a core outcome, be the expert and focus on what you want to do, okay? So that is my number 2. Just gonna make sure. Let me know if there's any question, David. Otherwise, I would just keep going. You know?
No, we're all okay at the moment. I think people are just everyone, like, on these sort of things, because there's so much information going on. It kind of can kind of like, people need to soak it in. So we see a lot of responses on the replays where people ask questions. But you know what you said so far is perfect sense with those sort of things. And to bring one point up, it's like I do 3D animation and I do website designs and all that thing. It's a different thing, but I am an expert in websites, so it's easy for me to take that across and teach Zenler. But I do keep the 2 profiles completely separate, because they are separate things. And it's like, I'm not going to say about my Zenler stuff because people know me for what I have been doing for decades, which is all design work. So it's keeping that clear delineation so people don't get confused by exactly what you said earlier.
Exactly. And one thing as well is that this is really, really important, especially in the beginning, when you start out crafting your first course or whatever. Don't go out there crafting 5 courses with different kind of outcome all over the place and try to sell them, because it's going to be hard. But I mean, when you, let's say we have let's say some really huge coach out there would craft a weight loss program, we would probably buy it anyway, right? Because they are so huge, right? But that is a completely different thing here. So we have simple and clear message with a core outcome. Then of course we come to the consistent part, and here is of course one of the hardest thing, I do believe, because we always run after the next object, right? So what happens is that when we try something, because most strategies works, right? Most strategies works. But what happens is that we want results so fast. So we try something and it didn't work out the first time. So we think, oh, this is not going to work for me, so now I'm going to do this thing. Oh, this wasn't really good, so I'm going to do this thing. Because it could be like, I help with this person doing this, and I feel like, now that wasn't my thing, nobody really cared about that, and then we move on to the next thing. What we really need to do is to be consistent and do things over and over and over again. And that is why, like we craft, for an example, webinars. Webinars are a really popular thing to sell courses because it's a click and buy. Up to 1,000, you don't need to do any kind of sales post because they will just click and buy. So we do craft signature webinars. So we know that webinar inside and out. I could actually, someone could wake me up in the middle of the night and I can do my webinar from the beginning to the end, boom, like this. And people say, yeah, but I mean, it's boring to do the same thing over and over again. Yeah, for you, but you attract new audience in, right? They haven't heard your program or your webinar, right? So that is really important to do the same thing over and over again, because if you show up, always speak about the same thing, What happens? You are going to be the expert. All of a sudden, you are going to build authority because you speak about the same thing over and over again, which means you really believe in whatever it is that you're talking about. And Absolute's going to save you a ton of time because you can do that webinar with your eyes closed, right? And you don't want to record anything until it converts anyway. So you want to run it live over and over and over again until it converts really high. So you actually can put it up on like an evergreen or something. So that is the consistent part that we need to learn to be consistent in everything that we do, not only marketing, but especially marketing. So when we choose to do something, let's say we choose Instagram and we say, I'm going to post 3 times on Instagram every week. I'm going to do live once a week. You need to continue. There is going to take time. Organic marketing takes time. Either you spend the time or you spend the money on ads, right? But you need to be consistent in everything that you do. So consistent is, of course, a foundation of all that we do in business, but also online. Because if you switch focus all the time like this, you try this, didn't work out, you try this, didn't work out, that is not how you can build authority online. You will not be known as the expert. You will be known as the person that jump all over the place. And that is not the way to elevate, because the elevation comes with the expert and the authority that you are going to build your personal brand as an expert in whatever you do. Even if you craft a course in how to, I don't know anything about dogs, but I heard something about dog, it might be grooming on dogs. So you're going to be the expert of that, right? So you need to talk about that all the time on a consistent basis to become actually the authority that you actually are the expert at doing this. Then people will buy your course and they're going to buy it and they're going to pay a lot of money because you're the expert, right? So why wouldn't they pay? So that is, of course, the consistent. And then when it comes to the marketing in itself, so we need to learn, and Alice talked about this a lot, how to speak to your dream clients' needs. So here I see the biggest problem with people not getting any clients and not getting any sales is that, first of all, they have done no kind of market research. So they actually craft a course and then they try to sell it and then they try to find the audience. But what is with people that buy things is they buy with emotion and they back it up with logic, right? So if you actually don't know the problem that is in top of their mind, they don't think there is a problem, even if you know it is. So I'm going to take my dream client as to refer to so you understand what I mean. So my dream clients' 3 biggest problem when they join my group, they need to answer questions. That is an easy way to do market research. You ask them, what is your biggest problem? And you gather all this information. And I gather the information, so I always know the top 3, what they say. Not what I think, what they actually think. That is a huge difference. What you think the problem is and what they think the problem is. So they say, I'm not getting enough clients. I'm not getting enough leads, so I can't generate quality leads, or I'm not getting enough sales. 3 top problems. I know that those problems often comes from not knowing your dream client. So you don't understand how to speak that person's language. But what happens if I start talking about that online? These people that have this problem won't listen because they don't think there is a problem. So that is the difference. So if I want to attract a cold audience and start speaking about how to know your dream client, these people won't listen because they don't believe there is a problem. If I craft a course for this audience that says how to know your dream client, they won't buy it because they don't think there is a problem. That problem is not in top of their mind. So before we craft anything, we need to do the market research, and unfortunately we don't, because I'm going to be honest, I think it's really boring, but it's not something that we need to do, right? But it's boring. I believe it's so boring, but we need to do it, and we need to do it over and over again. We can't just do it once. 6 months into your business, you need to do it all over again because people change, market change. everything happens, right? But that is information that you need to attract a new audience. So when I show up and speak to my audience like this, I always speak how they can get more clients, how they can generate better leads or quality leads or more leads, how to increase their sales. I don't show up and speak about how to know your dream client, how to find a niche, because they don't care. They wouldn't listen because they think they know their dream client. They think they are in a profitable niche. They might even have the best program. They might have the perfect program. It's just that they don't know how to speak to their dream client's need because they don't know what's actually on top of their mind. Because they actually don't care what you say. They care that can you help them? That is what they need to hear. Is this going to help me with my top problem? So they don't actually think that you could be something else. So this is the difference from attracting your audience and the ongoing marketing, because I need to attract them by speaking to whatever they think is the problem. When I have attracted them into my social media, it could be my group or something, then I can start talking about what they actually need to do. But that is a huge difference here. And this is something that we actually see a lot. That is the biggest problem. We don't know our dream client enough. And like people, let's say we aim for women want to learn how to bake muffins, right? And we aim for all women. A woman that is, let's say, a single mom, young single mom, she doesn't make decisions the same way as, let's say this is a 45-year-old woman with no children. You do different kind of decisions when it comes to buying something. If you don't know this, it's going to be hard. Because it's going to be hard to sell to these people, because people always buy with emotion, back it up with the logic, more or less. I'm a really back it up with a lot of logic, and some people are completely emotional buyers. But it's always emotional. So I'm going to catch up with the comments in a second, I promise. Just I don't want to lose the flow here. So now actually I lost it a little bit, but this is about to speak to your dream client's needs. And whatever that is, I believe really strongly that you should do market research first, then craft your course, title, whatever. Because you want the title to aim for whatever they think they have a problem, or whatever they want, the kind of result that they want, and the words that they actually use. So that is so important to speak to your dream client's needs, because that is what's going to attract them into your social bubble, whatever it is, okay? So that is one of the part. I hope you catch up here. So just gonna see, so I have, yes. So, and then we come to the ongoing marketing. So we have attraction marketing, and that can be done in a different kind of way, but make sure speak to your dream client's need, and they are going to listen, right? That is the main thing here. When we do marketing, there is often a part that we miss. And your dream clients, their biggest question is, will this work for me? And how is your course or program different? They might have bought a lot of programs. They might have been to a lot of courses. They might have done a lot of things. And what they want to know, will this work for me, right? That is where storytelling comes in. And we get sometimes so caught up in our own business that we miss the thing that new people come over, they're going to cross your way all the time, right? And they haven't heard your stories. They actually don't know why you do what you do. And here all again, emotions comes in. I think I've heard it, it's the like, know, and trust. People are not going to buy from you. The higher the ticket, of course, they need to trust you more. The lower the ticket, they might just get to know you a little bit and buy. But if we aim for higher ticket programs, they need to trust you. It's the like, the know, and the trust. So that is a really important way to know that people need to go that way to buy from you, okay? So when it comes to the marketing itself, you have one marketing where you show up and just speak about how people are doing things. This could be information, share value, could be like what I'm doing now, a live that I just speak about how to do something. I teach. That is one part of marketing, teaching. That is the foundation of marketing, because that is what's going to help people understand that you know what you talk about, okay? Otherwise, they will not know. So this is important. You need to have that part in your marketing, the value, share the value, to be able to serve your audience and show up. I know my stuff. This is me. This is what I do. I know this, right? But then there must be a part of the marketing that gives people an understanding that this will work for them. And that is where storytelling comes in. Of course, testimonials and stuff like that. But if you don't have any clients yet, you don't have any testimonials, then it's your story that is important. So you need to share that. Why do you do what you do? What happened here? I couldn't bake any kind of muffins. I was super bad in the kitchen. I almost burned the kitchen down. But then all of a sudden, I find this perfect, whatever it is. It could be a baking machine or something. And now all of a sudden, look at me, perfect muffins. That people need to hear. So when they know they almost burned down the kitchen, they think, oh my God, it's hope for me here in this program. I will buy this because this will work for me, right? That is a huge difference than just do marketing. Hey, here's my course. It's a perfect course. I'm going to get you from A to B, but they want more. They want to know, can this work for me, right? And that is where your storytelling comes in. And I can promise you, you have tons of stories. Doesn't need to be long. I'm a really bad writer, so I mostly just do lives and videos. But you have a lot of stories. It could be a setback story. It could be something that happened. You might have helped a friend with something. Share this. This is going to give your dream clients hope that this will actually work for me. And that is a part that you actually don't see so much. And because we get so caught up in our own business, we forget that part, how important that part is for a new audience, because they need to get to know you. They need to understand this will be different. This will work for me. So I'm going to invest in this program or this course. That is one part of marketing. And another part of marketing is that we want an audience that makes sense, right? So we want an audience that makes sense, because numbers means nothing if you can't convert them. You don't need 1,000 followers if it's not the right followers. As Alice says, just gonna, yeah, I'll almost swear that it's just gonna mess up your algorithm, right? So you want an audience that makes sense. So now you need to think, this is when we come into your personal branding. Here is when you need to leave the following trait. You can't do exactly the same thing as everybody else is doing out there and just say the same thing because it's comfortable. Just copy and paste whatever things they provide, the 100 posts to use on social media, download them, use them. That is going to take you a little bit, but not pretty far, right? Somewhere along the way, nothing is going to happen. So here you come in. Your beliefs, whatever you believe in, your conviction, why you do what you do and why your way is better way. So it could be like for me, because I do like webinars, for an example. So it could be like I go out and I said, stop do ads. I could say, stop do ads. And then listen to me. Do you really want to have 15 pages, complicated tech, whatever? I don't believe in ads. Do you really want that? Because I know a better way. This is my way. Come here and look this. And what happens is that the people that are believers in this, they probably won't follow me. And that is a good thing, because I'm not here to convince them to actually believe in what I believe in, because their beliefs in something else. I want these followers that are already on my side, that already believe in what I believe. That when I post that, they're going to feel like, oh my God, finally someone said it. Finally, someone just said, don't do this instead. I'm going to follow her. That is what we usually call is conviction marketing, or believe. You share your beliefs, whatever it is. It could be when I was in weight loss, because I come from weight loss. I worked as a personal trainer and I took that online. So I was the person that believed in counting calories, right? So I can promise you it was kind of uncomfortable in the beginning to say, stop, eat keto, stop, eat all this fat. Do you really want to eat all that and do all that? Don't be able to eat everything. I know a better way. Come over here because I believe in this. And I'm not talking about the post that you can see the unpopular opinion and then you share something that you actually don't believe in yourself just to get people fight under the comments. That was kind of popular for 2 years ago or something. That is not what I'm talking about. You need to show up and tell people why you believe this is a better way to do things. Because then you are going to get a following that actually matters. A following that actually are on your side, that is going to be way easier to convert than these people. And these people can actually leave, go on, do whatever they believe in, because when they are going to find out it doesn't work, who are they going to think about? You. Because they're going to remember, okay, maybe I shouldn't do ads. I'm going to check her out because she said I shouldn't do ads. I'm going to go there and see what that is. Is that part of marketing uncomfortable? Yeah. Because what happens is that not all people is going to like what you have to say. Not all people will agree. The people that believe in ads, if I did that post, they would probably start typing in the comments. But we need to elevate above that because it's really magnetic to show up online and share your beliefs. And the following that you built this way, speak to dream clients' need, really in their language. Really in their language, don't use kind of strange word. Core outcome for your dream client that you are the expert at something, okay? Super clear when it comes to your messaging. Super clear when it comes to the messaging. Show up and speak about how people can do something. Serve your audience. That is what's built the authority, right? Also, storytelling. So they understand that this will work for me. This will work perfectly for me because it works for this person. So I'm going to check this out. And then you add your beliefs, whatever you are strongly believers, your conviction, why you actually believe this is a better way to do things. I mean, you might say, okay, but I just have a course in how to, bake muffins or do gardening. Yeah, but there is something. Why do you believe you should do the gardening this way? You ask yourself, why do you really believe that? Well, look online and scroll. When you come to a post that's just gonna, oh my God, you don't believe that? That is so stupid. Now you are into your convictions, right? If I scroll, I see a lot of those posts. Right? It's gonna be about, oh, it's gonna blow my mind. I just wanna go in the comment section, really just type like this. I don't do it, but it's make me feel like that. That is your conviction. You have those convictions, right? You really do. If you can just scroll online. I can promise you, you are going to find those posts when you actually, it's going to feel like, oh, you get so irritated when you see it, right? You just want to smack that up. Just no, I don't believe this. Take it. I've talked about it, but I actually don't believe this. This is not how you should do things. You should do things this way instead. That is so magnetic, and it's an easy way to start be shown, because all of a sudden you are the expert. You share your convictions, you share what you believe in, you speak directly to your dream client's need. There is no confusion in what you do and what you have to offer. That is going to make you stand out. And these are not things that is going to require a lot of work. This is things that you just can twitch in your marketing, in your ordinary marketing, in a post, in a picture, in a reels, in a live or whatever. It's easy to implement, to start doing this. It's going to be uncomfortable, yeah. So, but somewhere along the way, it's not comfortable to scale. It isn't, I can promise you. There are going to be a lot of feathers burned, but it's going to be worth it in the end. I can promise. So I'm going to make sure we have some question here, David, right?
Yeah, we have quite a few questions coming there.
So let's focus on them. Is there those in the chat here? So
should I read them out? Is that going to be easier?
yeah, or I can read them. It doesn't matter, whatever you want.
Right, I got Judy Raffat, who I think you've actually
Hi,
taught her.
Judy.
Yeah, you know
Yeah,
her.
I love Judy. She's amazing. She's teaching people how to sing jazz.
Ah,
Yeah.
German. Yeah. Right, she's put, I've been working for a couple of years on my message, and how do I know that my message is working for my clients?
I will put, oh, so that, oh, now I see, oh, I thought that next was, well, the main thing here, Judy, since I know your market a little bit, I do believe here that you should just ask, I mean, if you feel like you have a trouble attracting a new audience, you have clients. So start ask them, do market research along your clients that you already have, do interviews with them, ask them, and you are going to hear what kind of words they use, because they are going to surprise you. Sometimes they're going to say, yeah, this is what I think about, this is the problem that I actually think about, and you're going to be blown away. What are you sure? Are you sure? Right? So I would say do some interviews with your clients and ask them, why did you get attracted by my messaging? What was it inside that post? And you're going to see that, let's say you do a post that you talk about the specific thing, it's going to blow out a lot of likes, a lot of commenting, you might get a message. You know it works. So then you take that post and you reuse content, you make a small video about it, you do a digital post, you do a different kind of post with the same content, because you know that content works. So reuse whatever you notice one post work, talk about that in a video, do a recorded video, a live, or reels, whatever, with that content. But ask your clients, because you have some clients.
Yeah, so Angela, I mean, we did exactly the same at Zenler. You know, we interviewed thousands of course instructors to find out what was the thing that they were most struggling with a course creation platform. And of course, overwhelmingly, it came back with marketing. So Zenler was built from the ground up based on marketing from its instructors, from instructors that wanted to use the platform.
Yeah.
And that's how it happened, directly from what they were saying.
Yeah, somewhere along the way, if we don't ask our audience, we don't go out, ask what is the top problem, what is your biggest problem, or how does it make you feel? Because that is sometimes what we miss. So when I say people buy with emotions, you need to know those emotions. You need to know how it is for your dream client, not for you. Your business is about your dream clients, right? So you need to know, what is the feeling when they are over here with these big problems? How do they actually feel? And something we never ask, I can promise you, I would want to know if anyone have asked your clients this. When you reach the goal, so let's say you go where you want to go, you can bake the muffins over here. You can bake perfect muffins. How would this change your life? Because that is what they are paying you for. There's some type of transformation here. You need to know the feelings, so you can aim for feelings. People buy with emotions. We can't ever forget that. You can have the perfect marketing. If you don't speak to their emotion, whatever they feel, they are gonna not look at you. So on that you see a lot, because we don't understand the feelings behind everything. What happens here? Why do they actually want to bake that muffins? Yeah, I want to show off. Yeah, but why do you want to show off? Well, my mother always said that I couldn't learn how to bake. All of a sudden there is a purpose behind that goal. You need to know that with your dream client. Otherwise, you are going to struggle.
Yeah, and it dictates to where you're going. It is a question that I ask, and it's a very powerful question, because it's like they take a course and you ask the question, where do you want to get to? Like, after this course, where do you want to be? What do you want to do? And to have that question come back, like lots of them say, oh, I want to be in the film industry, or I want to do this, or I want to do that, then straight away it gives you more scope to move around. You know, the other one was, I was doing a course and someone actually asked, oh, the jewelry designer come along, and I was like, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to use this software for that? Again, it went off in a different area. And it's amazing, by asking those really powerful questions to your people, that you know, especially if you built a relationship up with those, they then tell you what their dream goals are. And if you can get that information, it's gold dust, you know, it's gold
Yeah.
dust.
Yeah, and the higher the ticket, people buy for the result. They don't buy your like modules, Facebook group, or whatever you have inside your program. They actually don't care. They couldn't care less what you provide inside. They want to know, this is the result that I want. This is what I'm paying for with my like, you know, emotions, because that is why they're going to click and buy. That is what people pay for, the result. The value of your program or your course is the result, not what you put inside. Like, oh, I have 10 modules, 15 modules. No one cares, actually. That sounds harsh, but they don't. They want a result. They want to learn how to bake that muffins, right?
We've got a question from Kevin. So our Kevin's come in and he said, as an individual running a business, I get it. What approach can you take if you have multiple people in your business doing related but different things? Does a company have a different focus?
I'm not. He means if he has different dream clients. Is that the question?
Yeah, I guess so. Take multiple people in your business. So he's got multiple people in his business doing related but different things. Does a company have a different focus? So should a company just focus on one goal, or can they focus on multiple goals?
I mean,
guess
if a company can focus on multiple goals, I mean, that is, if you run a business. So let's say I help people like me. I help people scale the businesses. That is what I do. But I work with marketing, sales, and systems, and I could actually hire someone that work here and here and here. Right? But if you have like different, that is what I'm wondering, if there is different, like different courses or coaches here, and the company goes like this, then of course they need to be expert in their part, and your business is just the name behind it. It could be like, for an example, new Zenler for the big business, and down here you actually sell courses, you sell how to craft webinars, you sell marketing over here, but it's like the same, under the same umbrella. But they need to focus, the ones that are under.
Each section, each department needs to focus on what they're doing. Oh, that's good.
If that is what he means.
Kevin might pop in if I've got that wrong. So we've got Cara Peterson here. She says, Angela, you are so good at your you are clear, and we are taking frantic notes. So she's replying to, like you saying, is there any questions? No, she's saying there's just overwhelm of information, because you've got a fast mind, Angela. I can see that it's firing. So and so Cara also asked, Angela, I think this is exactly what I have done. I think she was referring to you talking about
market
maybe
research.
Not getting a clear message. To be able to do that. So I've gone to the solution instead of speaking from the problem. She speaks from the problem. And
that is something we sometimes we forget, that you want to make people feel good. I mean, they are, especially on Facebook. So when we look at different platforms, why are people on Facebook? They want to feel good. They want to watch funny cats. They want to watch memes. They want to check up on their friends. They are in that state of mind. So you need to remember that when you do marketing on Facebook. When people are on LinkedIn, they are in a completely different mindset. They are not there to look at funny cats. They're not there to look at whatever story that's gonna make them laugh, right? But on Facebook, we need to know that we need to make people feel good. So we can't just speak about the problem all the time. We need to speak to the emotions behind it, and wherever they want to go. Of course, the result, they want the problem, but also the transformation. So they understand that I don't need to be stuck here. I can go here if I just join this person.
So we have one more from Judy here, and she's asking, can I do the same song in every 5-day challenge? Then people who take part in the last challenge will not sign up unless I offer some new content. So I think she's asking the question of like just reusing the same content. But what you were talking about that earlier, you could wake up and do your webinar in without thinking about it. But that doesn't necessarily mean the content doesn't change, because you do change in each. It can adapt as you're doing new live events. That's how I find it. Each event is different.
What it's not different, the same, because you mean you teach them a same song. You can just change the song. What I mean with that, you want to do the same over and over again, is that first of all, people are going to understand that this works, because if you can show up over and over again, do the same challenge, they actually understand that this works. This is not something that you change from one day to another because it doesn't work. This works because otherwise you wouldn't have showed up 5 times and talked about it. That is one thing. The second thing is that we need to know that people need to, I think they say it's like 12 interaction with you before they buy. So I have people joining my challenges, and I have run the same challenge over and over again, and they still join. Because there will always be something new, because it changed, right? Even if your challenge is the same, the how you speak, it's live. So you adapt. So all of a sudden, let's say 1 year ago, I was talking a certain thing in webinars, and all of a sudden Facebook changed. So we can't do that anymore. So I need to change whatever is inside how I teach inside the challenge, because it needs to, of course, be up to date. But what I'm talking about the same is that you should have the same structure, so you actually can use the same email that you have created, you can use the same content, but you show up live. That is the thing with challenges and live launches, is that you show up live, speak directly like this to your audience, and sometimes you need to twist and turn the content a little bit because there comes a question, or you notice that this is the audience that need more help with that, so I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. But of course, let's say you teach them to sing this one song, you can just change the song to the next challenge, because it's that is not changing the way you teach, because you teach them to sing if this song or this song, right? So that wouldn't matter.
Yeah, it's challenges change. I mean, you think you've got Kevin's 5-day blogging challenge coming up, and although he'll stay on the main structure of it, it will change. He will introduce new things into that one, and even if the same people show up, they'll still get something from it. Everybody, if we could run this, we would run office hours, and we get different people ask different questions. And I want to bring that point up as well about repeating the same thing. It's like when we do office hours, we always repeat about our education area. Obviously, we spent thousands of hours putting all this stuff together, and we want people to know about it. And lots of people say, "Oh, well, you keep saying that each week," but there's new people coming to the group, that do not know where this stuff is. It still happens, so you have to repeat things where the stuff is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you answered something there. Teaching new song. A lot of work to do a new song, new playback, new charge, new material. Then I would just stick to the same song, Judy. Stick to the same song, because what I can promise you that even if they join, they will, and they join again, they're not going to be, "Oh, you're doing the same song." I don't believe that, because why would they? They probably they are there one more time, so they probably didn't get to the goal, right? That is why they join one more time. And what is important is that they might not get it the first time. So they join again, and if you do the same thing, then they actually, after the second time, "Wow, now I get it," and they actually buy your program. So that might be a good thing to run the same song, because the most people that sign up one more time, they didn't get it the first time. They didn't get to sing their song. They couldn't make it work, or whatever it is. I don't know anything about how to do songs, but let's say they couldn't make it work. So I couldn't make it work. This is not for me. I can't do this. And then they see your challenge again, and they say, "Wow, it's the same song. Now I can really feel that I can make this work because I know already a little bit." That might be a good thing, actually.
Yeah, I mean, how many times have you kind of, read instructions or you watched a film or read a book and then you've done it again and you've gone, oh, I didn't remember that bit from last time, or I
Yeah,
didn't, you see things that you didn't see the first time. And I know a lot of people will take the same challenge just because that's the way everyone's mind works differently. Some people like to go into the
mhm,
same thing, watch exactly the same thing 2 or 3 times. Other people can go into it, watch it once and get it. We all work differently, so those sort of things are pretty common to go in and take the same thing. And like Angela was saying, all things always change. You always change a little bit of things, different people in there. If you're having the same people come in over and over again, then it's not a bad thing, is it? Because it
yeah.
means that they're really interested in seeing you and what you've got to say.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, if they join, if you can see the same people sign up over and over again, that is a good thing. And here we work a little bit different because I give a lot of value. So I serve. When I do my challenges, my goal is that people join with a big win. So even if they don't buy my program, they leave to take whatever they learn and actually can implement it. So I give away a lot. So what I sell, and that is something that I had in my notes, is the gap in the industry because something is missing. Your course, your program should fill that gap. What is missing out there in your market that you actually can have in your program that you can show? This is what I do. And if you fill that gap, people are going to buy that course. And that is more about, that is why I didn't go into it, because it's more when it comes to the sell. So we sell the result to the gap. And that is why people sign up over and over again, because it's a lot of value. So when they sign up one time, they are not going to become clients. You're not going to convert 100%. But what you want people to do when they leave your challenge here, Judy, is that they're going to feel really good. Wow, they're going to feel what this was valuable, because what do people do? They're going to talk about you. So they're going to go out and going to say, oh, you should join Judy's challenge. I have a lot of those coming into me because I give away a lot of things. So people are going to say, yeah, I'm going to join there. It's a really good challenge. So that is what is going to be the thing when they join over and over again. They are fans, right? And you just need to convert them. That is another topic.
That's fantastic, Angela. Well, we're getting near to the
Yeah.
hour. I think it's all right. Have you got any final things to say, or?
And no, not, but to wrap it up, what I believe is the foundation of standing out is to know your dream client, understand that they buy from emotion and they back it up with logic. You need to know her feelings, where she is today and where she's going, and what will happen if she reaches that goal. Remember that people buy the result, right? They buy the result. And then combine your marketing, but both teach people, show up and build authority, be an expert, focus, have a core outcome, simple message, but also the storytelling part or the testimonials where gives people hope that this can work for them. They can learn how to bake that muffin, even if they burned down the kitchen before, right? It can work for them. But also what you believe in, what you actually have opinion about, share that. Because that is really is going to make you stand out. That is missing a lot. And I don't talk about those unpopular opinion posts that you really don't believe in what you type. You really strong believe in this. Share it online, because that is going to build you an audience that actually makes sense. It's going to be quality, not quantity. We want quality, not quantity.
That's fantastic, Angela. So I'm just going to share Angela's website again, because I just noted that you've actually got a free call. So if you did want to talk to Angela about any of these things, I mean, she supplied a ton of information there in that hour. If you go through it and write it all down, you're going to have quite a lot of information just from that. But you can book a free consultation, I've seen there. This is all from the website. So if you want to go and just drop by, I'm sure Angela would love to speak to you. Also, Angela, if you can go into the Facebook post and answer any questions that are answering, or you don't mind people getting in touch with you, PMing you?
No, you can ask any question and you can get in touch. And I am going to take the things that I talked about today. I have them on my notes. So I'm just going to put 1, 2, 3 for like a list, and I'm going to put that in the comment section. So it's easy for people to see, so they got everything. And they can always watch the replay, right?
Yeah.
So they can watch it again.
Yeah.
Take more notes.
They're going to have to.
Yeah.
They're going to have to pause it. It's going on the YouTube channel as well. So if you put that in there, I'll put it into the description.
Yes.
But I think, what is it going to be, like 1,000 numbered list?
No. It's not that much.
All right. That's been brilliant. Thank you so much for giving us your valuable time, Angela. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me.
Fantastic. All right. So we're going to move on now. Yeah, Angela's going to go on the post there and write those. So we're going to move on because we have, like I told you, there's so much going on today and so many great speakers, and it seems to be all based around marketing. So shall we take a little bit of a change from marketing and actually do something like a little bit more designer? So what we've got in line for you now is we have one of our power partners, and he is Eran Bucai. A lot of you know him. He does Zenler sites. He's an expert in the Zenler platform itself. We had Amit on last month, who is also an expert. But Eran works in quite a different way. What Eran does is he actually designs sites, but he does it with you, so you can learn as he's doing the site for you, which is really novel. If you think about it, it's like a live build. You know, he goes through step by step, but you can ask him specific questions. So we do have Eran with us today, and he's going to come on any second, and he's going to do another hour. So with Angela doing an hour, and we've got Eran there doing an hour as well. Hi, you are live, Eran. There you go.
There you go.
How are you?
Last minute.
You good?
Yeah, really good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Absolute pleasure. So what are you going, do you want to say a little bit about yourself? And
Yeah. So I've been building with Zenler websites since last year, beginning of last year, pretty much. Probably built 50 plus websites. It's like the minimum in terms of one-on-one. And like you said, I think what's different about me is I don't do the traditional, give me your stuff and then I'll build it for you. I do it on Zoom with people. I share my screen as I'm building it live. And then my clients actually watch me build it, literally they're seeing things, the mouse move, and all that kind of happens. And typically between 2 to 4 sessions, we can get a website not necessarily 100% done, but done enough so they can launch, and more importantly, done enough so they feel confident in continuing on their own. Because Zenler is quite intuitive, but sometimes you need that little bit of extra, okay, show me. And so that's kind of the process.
Right, lovely. So I'm going to show Eran's site now. He's just put this up. He did this in an hour, I think, so quickly. This is unofficial. This is not Zenler, so this is not an official Zenler page. But he's got this is his services here. So he whipped this up quickly for us. I'm sure he's going to do some more work, and he's basically telling his whole procedure through here. And you can see if you go through all this. I mean, to do this in an hour is really good. So he's put all the stuff in there. There's loads of testimonials and all sorts of things, and yeah, he knows what he's doing. People love you, Eran. I've seen some of the comments, so people really do. Whenever someone asks for a Zenler site builder, your name comes up all the time, and people are just saying, yeah, it's great, he does it with us, you learn as you're paying, so I think your approach to doing this is really good. I love it. I was saying we do a similar thing with live builds where we have someone on, but of course if you're private with someone, you can really get into nitty-gritty stuff with them and go through that. So what are you going to do for us today, Eran?
Yeah, so obviously we've got an hour. There's only so much we can cover. I wanted to do a bit of a hybrid between tech and strategy and kind of how to map it out. And you can always obviously tinker with features. So there will be maybe 30%, 20% of tinkering, and it's going to be more focused on the strategy and the preparation, which is actually the majority of the process is all about preparation. Like, you know, you said it took me an hour to do that website. It literally did take me an hour. What you just saw, that took me an hour, but that's because I prepared. So I've got, when you get the preparation, you can whip out a website in no time. And that's why when I work with clients, 2 to 4 sessions, yes, it's 2 to 4 sessions, but I have them do preparation for a week or two before we even meet. And I'll take everybody through that process, because that process is applicable whether you're hiring somebody or if you're doing it on your own. It's actually the identical process.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, if you look at the live build, you see in the beginning of it, we look at all the branding for it, make sure that we content, and it's like course creation, Eran, you know, to creating a course, it takes such a long time to put all the content together. To actually get it into the system is really quick. But if you've got that preparation, I consider it as like building a house, because you've got to put a foundation down before you can put the house up. And that's how it is. And that's with pretty much everything in life. You need to build the foundations. So I'm going to hand over to you now, Eran. You know what you're doing. I'm going to come off camera and you should be able to share. I am here, so you can ask me if you need me to do anything. But I'm going to come off camera and over to you, Eran.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Alrighty. So I'll just start sharing screen and just take you through different slides, and you'll have to excuse me, it's very, very last minute, so bear with me with the tabs and all that, but I'll do my best to kind of walk you through everything that you're probably interested to know about. So let's just share a screen. I want to start taking you through some slides first. Okay, so first of all, so this is kind of the agenda, but I want to take you through. And basically, I've kind of gone over that. So after building 100+ websites for clients on multiple platforms and all that, the process is the same. Doesn't matter if you're doing an online course, a membership, a multi-sales page, just a list building, doesn't matter. I'm going to teach you the exact 6-step framework that you need to follow to get your website live. And it doesn't matter what type of website you're thinking with. It's all the same process, because you could be thinking, I want to do a funnel, I want to do a landing page, I want to do an online course. It doesn't matter which one it is, it's still the same process, okay? Again, steps 1 to 4 have to be done no matter what, whether you're hiring somebody or you're not. If you're going and you're like, I need to hire somebody, and you're hiring somebody and you don't do steps 1 to 4, you are bound to, number 1, waste your money. You're gonna waste your money, because you're going to take more time to get something done. You're gonna have more back and forth, and it's going to literally burn money and burn time, which is really unnecessary. Now, we will focus on the homepage because obviously it's only so much time, but the one page is the one thing you're going to have no matter what, right? There's always one page on the website. Sometimes there's more, but there's at least one. And let me just kind of take you through that. So the thing about the homepage is really 3 main things that you can think with in terms of the purpose. And this is kind of like the goal of the website. Why are you even doing the website in the first place? Usually there's 3 reasons. Number 1, you either want to simply build an email list. Now that could come under the banner of a webinar, like a free training or a PDF or a mini course, anything along these lines. I can tell you right now, just to make it really simple for you, if you don't have a lead magnet, there is a very simple solution. You're gonna, after this call, you're gonna go to Google and you're gonna type in docs.new, right? And then you're going to type in 2-3 pages long of whatever knowledge you have and your expertise, something of value, 2-3 pages. Once you have it created, you're going to download it as a PDF, and that's your lead magnet. Don't overcomplicate it, keep it really simple. You can also do the same thing on Canva if you like, either Canva, which is what you're seeing here, or using Google Doc. That's how you're gonna do it, okay? Really simple. If you're not sure how to do a lead magnet on Canva, I'm gonna show you a little hack. It should really take you literally an hour to set something like that up. So just log in properly. So you're going to go to templates. You're going to go to, let's say, worksheets as an example. And in the worksheets, you're going to have a lot of different templates. So if you've got some sort of a checklist that you can use, find something that works and follow it. You can also type in the word guide for example, and you'll have different guides that will come up. And you'll also notice that some of them have multiple pages. So you can see how it's actually moving. So this one is a 4-page guide. This one, 1 page, 1 page. Yeah, you get the idea. So depending on how you go through, you'll find that there's going to be multiple pages for some of them. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that to keep it really simple. If you don't have a lead magnet, like if you're going to listen to this call, you're going to be here for an hour. If you don't have a lead magnet, by the end of this call, spend 2 hours to create a lead magnet and tell me that you've done it, because it's all about implementation. Listening to me, listen to everybody else, total waste of your time unless you take action, okay? So that's step number 1. Step number 2 is if you want to sell your product or service, whether it's a course, membership, ebook, or whatever. So that's the second possible goal. Now, if you've got no product to begin with, selling your time is a wise way to go. And selling your time means getting on a Zoom call and doing a coaching session, something like that. The reason that's really valuable is because number 1, you get paid for something that you can offer immediately. Number 2, you also get to do the most important part in your business, which is talking to your customers. And this is something that's really, really, really critical. And if you look at this page, for example, yes, I had the assets ready, like all the content ready and stuff like that. But all the text that you see prepared for this website, this text is based on speaking to hundreds of people on the phone before I even wrote the copy for the website. Now, it doesn't mean you need to wait to talk to 100 people. It just means that that should be your focus at the beginning, because your copy, the text for your website, if you haven't actually spoken to people, honestly, your copy is going to be hit or miss. So it truly doesn't matter. The main thing you want to sell on your website at the beginning, if you haven't spoken to people, is to get people to talk to you, make an appointment to actually speak with you, because your copy for anything else is going to be hit or miss. I know there's so many people that come to me, they're like, I really struggle with copy. And the truth is they don't struggle with copy at all. Number 1, they have either haven't spoken to their ideal customer enough to actually know what they're talking about yet. And that's okay. We all start at 0. Okay. I didn't do websites. Like I didn't do anything tech-wise until 2 years ago. Right. So we all start at 0. And the second reason is you might have the information, but you need help in understanding how to download it out of your head so we can piece it together. And we will get to that on step 3, which is the assets. So the first step of the framework is the goal. Get crystal clear on the goal. When somebody arrives at your homepage, what do you want somebody to do? Like, do you want them to book an appointment? Do you want them to give you your email? Do you want them to buy something? Get crystal clear. And ideally, when you're getting started, pick 1. Don't do 4. Don't do 6. Don't do 5. Do 1. Just one thing. Okay. If you don't have an email list, for example, it is strictly email list or an appointment to talk to you. And that's it. That's all you should be focusing on in talking to people. Okay. Now, I want to go through a little bit and take a high level overview here. What is actually a website? And I want to give you a different perspective, which I think is really important to understand when you're building a website. A lot of people associate website with technology. Okay. And I want to take that away for a moment. Even though, like, I'm a tech person, you know, people know me as the tech guy, but I consider myself more of a relationship guy, right? Like, I'm more of a get to know somebody, learn about their problems, and see if I can be of assistance. And if I'm not, see if I can point them in the right direction. And if I can, figure out how I can help them in a way that makes sense to them. And it's a win-win, both for me financially and for them to solve them a genuine problem, which would have taken them a lot longer or more expensive to solve, basically. So instead of thinking about technology and your website being technology, think of your website as an extension of you. Your website is you, but in the digital world, okay? On the internet, this is you. So when you're thinking about what happens in the offline world, for example, you probably have been in shopping malls or whatever, where somebody comes up and says, you know, have a little taste of this little food or whatever. And that is a free sample. That physical world activity is equivalent in the online world to a lead magnet, giving them a freebie, a sample to taste so they can become like enticed to maybe buy the actual product. Okay. So think of anything that goes on in the physical world, in the real world, is simply something that you translate into the online world. And if you think about that from that perspective, you will also, I think you'll feel more better about the fact that you don't have at the beginning a website that is like all the big gurus. You don't have anything fancy, and you're not going to try and do that either, which is where people can get like the procrastination that goes on when you know someone else's website is so amazing. You're like, I want that website. And the truth is, you're in a totally different stage in your business. Why bother? Just focus on the stage you're in and do something simple to get going. And as you're getting more experience in the real world, i.e. talking to people, your website can grow, okay? Now, I'm gonna show you a little bit of how that continues to grow in a moment. Let's move into the next step. So we're going to look at the next step, number 2 of the framework, which is mapping out the pages. Once you've actually figured out your goal, okay, I want to build a list or get an appointment or sell my product or service or whatever, you can map out your pages. Now, I've got a fancy thing here to show you just because I want to visually see you, but give me 1 second. Go old school. Just grab a pen and paper, sketch it out. It's all you need to do, okay? Really simple. Literally grab pen and paper, sketch it out, and that's how you should do it. Now, I'm gonna show you the map out of the pages of my Zenler homepage, just so you can kind of see how it works. And I'll show you it here, and then I'll show you the reality, and I'll show you how I'm building it as well. So the homepage has basically 4 different call to actions for 4 different categories of people. Number 1, there is the lead magnets, which is checklists, where I want people to download checklists for, and I'll show you the checklist in a moment. And these checklists are basically the checklist you need for the assets for somebody to build their website. From there, it takes them to a training, website creation training, and from them, it sells them a 14-day challenge. So that's the funnel within the website. The second call to action on the same page is a straight sales page. If somebody wants to work with me one-on-one, it goes to a sales page, checkout page to buy. That's the funnel for the one-on-one service. The third one is my tech support membership. So I have a membership where I provide an under 24-hour tech support where somebody can ask me a question and I will record a tutorial for them, even using their account if needed, and they can get that sorted in under 24 hours. And it's not applicable to Zenler or whatever. It's applicable to any tech support because some people have other issues and, whatever. There's different tech stuff that you run across in business, right? So this is the third thing, and it goes to a checkout page. Right now it's a waitlist because the cart is closed, but it goes to a checkout page or a thank you page, depending if it's open or closed. And the third one is people that arrive at my website and maybe they're not new Zenler customers, at which point I have them go to an affiliate link. Very simple, okay? Now, I'm gonna show you how I've built this page so I can walk you through the homepage in a moment. But before I get there, what's important to know is you need to have the third step, which is the assets. Now, just realize one thing here, you want to map it out. You want to map it out first before getting the content so you can visually see what you want to populate. Now, before I forget, let me show you another super cool hack. Now, you're going to love this one. So if you're wondering how to map it out, I'm going to make your life so freaking easy. It is ridiculous. All you got to do is go to Canva, search for website, okay? Now, you're going to see there is different types of websites. You can look here at simple, modern, minimalist, colorful, corporate, professional, whatever. I'm just going to pick one. Doesn't really matter. Now, let's just say that I'm going to click on this and I'm like, okay, I like this homepage. Let's just say. Now, the homepage realized that this picture can be replaced with another picture. Like, it doesn't have to be this picture, obviously. I've got a lot of random stuff on Canva. You just have to bear with me here. I'll just go find a picture of me. There we go. So let's say this is the picture, and then I'll put Eran Bucai, and then let's say helping people get their website done or whatever. And then no experience needed or whatever, right? Some sort of sub headline. Okay, this is now the first section of my website. Now, there is the next section of the website, and that section will be whatever I want to say. Now, let's just pretend for a moment, you see the third page, the fourth page, and all that. Now, let's just say that I see that, or I see that, and I'm like, I really don't like that one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on templates. I'm going to click here, and I'll have a look. Let's look at other contact us options. So maybe I will like this one. And then I can see, okay, yeah, I like this one better. Now, if I don't like this one better, I can just keep going to the next one and see if there's another one. How about this one? I like it, I don't like it. No, okay, move on. And then you just kind of keep going, and you can figure out, and you basically map out the different sections of your website. So think of your website like Legos, okay? You basically have its sections, okay? Now, just to really make it clear on the sections you're looking at, in New Zenler, the sections we're talking about is the sections in blue, okay? So this, what you see here in red, is one section. What you see here, like this piece of text, which is a bit of a large one, it's one text. This video, again, that's one section. This one is one section. This one is one section. So if you think about it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, because that's the footer, okay? So basically, you're going to go here, and you're going to end up with 5 pages, 6 pages, but each page, it's not actually a page, it's a section that you would then build on New Zenler. Now, this is really important to actually visualize first, because it's easier to maneuver and it's more fluid on how you want it and the look and feel, and you can and stuff like that. Okay, so that's how you want to do it, and that's my recommendation when I'm talking about mapping out. Let me just go back to the slide. When I'm talking about mapping out the sequence of the pages, you then also want to map out the individual page on how you want it to look as well, okay? Once you have that mapped out, you can start thinking about step number 3, which is the assets. Now, obviously, just as a point, like this might change, like, you know, you're not locked in, but have some sort of an idea. It will make your life a lot easier if you have at least some sort of a visual, okay? Now, you then want to gather the assets. Now, I've got a couple of checklists, which are the assets, and I'll read it out to you basically. So first of all, it is the favicon, which if you don't know what a favicon is, it's this little guy right here. Or this is the Loom favicon. This is my website favicon. If you look at, I don't have a New Zenler thing open, but you get the idea. Those are the different ones. This is Google Sheets and so on, okay? So favicon, logo, get a logo, font, like choose a font. You can always use Canva for the font, like you can actually look at under text and then click on one of the text and actually see and pick one of these. Now with New Zenler, what I suggest is you actually pick it in New Zenler. If you don't know how to do that, you simply go to the branding section. So let me just click to return to site. Let me just save this. So you do it under site, branding, and then you do those things here: logo, favicon, choose your font, choose your colors, and so on. Okay, so that's how you wanna do that part. The next thing is also, if you have any nice images of you, you should have nice images of you ideally. So for example, I have. Let me just do a search, for example. So you see here, let me just see if I can make this a bit larger. There you go. So these are images that I had like a professional photographer take of me, for example. And you know, you want to have some sort of assets. It's not critical. You probably have some photos that will work good enough for now, but at some point you want to invest in a professional photography as well. If you're just getting started, please don't overcomplicate this and think you need to get professional photography first. Just do something simple and you'll be fine, okay? Then you've got also getting clear on who are you serving, who is not your customer, who is your customer, what do you sell, what is your customer existing situation, and like what is their current situation that they're struggling with, and what is that they want to improve in their life, and what is standing in the way. Okay, so there's different types like that is relevant. Your pricing, what do you offer, what is your guarantee, any bonuses, things along these lines. On a sales page, this is a website preparation checklist. This one is a sales page template. So the headline, sales video, call to action, who's it for, who's it not for, all the FAQs that you get asked. Now, let me just tell you something. Let's just talk about that for a moment. This is going to be a little bit sidetracking from website homepage, but this is like so freaking important. So remember how I said at the beginning, you got to talk to your customers, right? Now, there is a hack, a strategy, a system that you can use to be able to always have the content for your social media and your publishing, so you continue to add value and attract more people and find your voice and all of that. And that is a checklist called FAQ Bank. So when you're talking to your ideal customer, let's just say I'm talking to somebody, I'm doing a strategy call. What happens is after that strategy call, they in the conversation, they might have asked me 2 or 3 questions and I answered it face to face or on Zoom. That's great. After the call, you must have a spreadsheet like this where you actually list the questions. You have to list the questions, because that is the different things you are going to need to answer on your sales pages, on your social media posts, on your courses, and all of that. Your customer questions, queries, and challenges is the secret to your copywriting, to your offer, to your clarity, to your everything, okay? Because it's all about transitioning your customer from their existing situation they're in to where they're desired to be. And those questions and challenges is what's standing in the way of 2 things. Number 1, them getting the results, but also number 2, you giving them the clarity that you are the person to actually help them with it as well. Because if you have a customer that shows up to your website and they're confused by the end of it, they're not going to pay. End of story. It doesn't matter if your offer is the best freaking offer in the world. If your offer is not clear, they're not going to pay. End of story. Okay. Now let's go back to the checklist. So this is step number 3. This is the assets. Now here, the step number 4 framework is all about inspiration. Okay. Now inspiration is about finding other people's websites that you love and figuring out what you love about them so you can do something similar or better. Now, it doesn't mean that it has to be competitor. It can be something in totally different niche and you like it, okay? Now, I'll give you a really, really quick example. I saw someone else's website. Let me just see if I can find it. Okay, there you go. So I saw someone else's website and they had this super cool thing. They didn't have all of this. They had only one thing. And basically, let me show you what happens. So when I clicked on that share, it said share with your biz besties. That's what it said on a webinar funnel. And when I clicked on it, I saw a subject line like this, a text, and the actual link automatically with one click. And I was like, oh my God, that is so smart. Because somebody just came from my funnel. They just registered. If I'm doing paid advertising, that registration might have cost me $5, $10, $20, $50, whatever, okay? If they share it, that reduces my advertising costs. Now, if I didn't pay for advertising and I did it through organic strategies, that's still effort that I had to put in. So now I got a lead like that. And this thing, I thought this is so good. On my thank you pages, I need to have a share button. Now they only had share on Facebook and share on email. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do it better. So I did share on LinkedIn, share on Pinterest, Twitter, email, Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram as well. Okay. Now what I did is I did a search to figure out how to do this. And then I replicated onto my website. This is a classic example of understanding this step number 4, which is inspiration. See what someone else is doing and figuring out what you like about it, okay? Another example is you might have heard of Video Ask, and I don't have any a Video Ask readily available. Oh, actually, no, I do. Hang on. Okay, so Video Ask is, you'll see it pop up in a second right here, I think. Yeah, there you go. This little thing right here, like a welcome video message when somebody arrives to the website, right? I really like that. I saw it on a website of somebody, he's not a marketing guru, but it's sort of a personal development guru. And he's got a really good book. I forget the name now, but anyway, it was a really good book. I listened to it audio and I went to his website to check out the resources he had, and he had this cool thing. And I thought, oh my God, this is so cool. What is it? I researched it and so on and figured out what it is, signed up for it, and have been using it ever since. I use Video Ask, just so you know, to collect testimonials and reviews. Basically, that's how I have my testimonials. By the way, if you've got questions, I know I'm going fast. There will be a replay. If you have questions throughout this, I will definitely answer any questions in the time that we have, or I'll answer in the comment section as well. So feel free to take note of questions, and I'll definitely tackle them at the end.
Yeah, I think,
okay,
Eran, you're going rapid speed, so people are just watching and they'll consume it afterwards.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Yes, I am going at rapid speed, cramping it all in an hour. So then that's inspiration. Now, reverse engineer is the next step, and this is where people can get stuck and overwhelmed. And this is why I'm saying at the beginning, steps 1 to 4, do it on your own, figure this out as much as you can. This stuff, like reverse engineer and the build, this is where sometimes you may need to hire. That's what people hire me for, really. Number one, it's for me to teach them this framework, okay? And now I'm turning it into like more of a coaching program type thing and checklists. But in reality, the reason people hire me is for this part, which is reverse engineer. Because sometimes to figure out how something is built requires going and looking behind the scenes. So, I mean, I'll just show you just so you can see. If you actually right click on this website and click on view page source, you can actually see how things are built. Now, I'm not a coder or a developer, but there's different little hacks to figure out what's what. So I don't actually do any coding at all, but I can kind of figure out what's what. And this is where it can get really complicated. Like if I can't even do a training session on this, but reverse engineering, figuring out how somebody did it, that is the critical piece to figuring out the website. Now, what I'm going to do, instead of teaching you how to do reverse engineer, I'm going to reverse engineer and show you my own, so you can see how I built mine on New Zenler. So you can see each element, how it's built. So first of all, you'll notice here, this is a section, okay? This is a heading, right? Now on the heading, let's just click on it for a moment. You'll notice a few things. Number one, you will see that the letter spacing, there is a little bit of spacing in between each letter. If I was to space it out even more, you'll see that it gets even wider. So I do number one on that one. You'll notice that there is, that it's centered, right? So this section of alignment, it's centered, okay? So this is how you know what it is. If you want to figure out someone's font as well, I might as well show you that one as well, because that's a pretty easy one. Oh, let me just save this. Okay, so let's just say you want to know what font I'm using. You can download a Chrome extension called Font Awesome, and you can actually hover over and see what is the font that I'm actually using. Now, if you click on it, it will actually also tell you the size and the color as well. So that's another really cool way to know what's going on the website. You see, this is Montserrat, and this is size 22 in white. This one is Montserrat, size 66 in orange. So you can kind of also figure out little things like that. This is a Chrome extension called What Font, sorry, not Font Awesome, What Font, yeah. Okay, so let's go back to the editor. The next section is this section, and how it's built is simply, and let me show you another important part. Once you click on something, I usually start from scratch. You can definitely use the templates here. They're really good templates. I personally usually use this, but it varies. You're welcome to use the other one. So once you click on it, this is section. And then when you click on the row, that is the elements, not the elements, the rows, that I'm referring to. So you've got 50-50, 33-66, this is 3-3-3, and so on, 4-4-4, you get the idea. So let's just delete this section. So this one, I've got heading, and this is heading, and then this is 666. This is also heading. Now, this one I probably should have done as text, but you know, it was a bit of a rush. I did it as heading. So this is just one giant text. Now here, you'll notice that I highlighted something. All I did here is basically go like this, and then click on this and paste in a link and click on open in a new tab. Now, this is really important. You wanna understand the reason why you would do open in a new tab versus not open in a new tab. So here, if I want, I'm giving people to go to my YouTube channel, check out my testimonials, whatever. I don't want them to close this website. Because of that, I will have it open in a new tab. Now, if this was a sales funnel where it's a sales page, and then I want them to buy something, then I will not open in a new tab. I will want it to be on the same tab. So that's just another important piece. Here, then I finished here, and then this is a new section. This section is strictly a video, okay? And the video, let me just see. Let's go to media library. The video, you will notice if you click here, this is honestly media library. I just gotta say, David and Rakesh, like the media library is like, you've got the best media library feature of any tool on the market. It is just freaking amazing. So you can tag everything. You can update the thumbnail as well, select a frame, upload a custom thing. So I've created this on Canva and uploaded it basically. And again, if you notice the thumbnail, it is carefully chosen. So it's different to other things as well. And another thing that I'll show you here, not this page, sorry, is notice here, I had it as gray thumbnail, but what I wanted, oops, let me just do something. What I wanted is if you look here on settings, notice that I did a border style. So I did a border width. So I did this width right here. So it's kind of like the boxed. So box the video a little bit, make it number 5 and make it orange. Okay. So this is something that I knew when I created the thumbnail, it's going to be like gray and then orange, and then the white will be background. And then this one, this was chosen carefully because I knew the box was going to be an orange. This is why it's so important that you map things out before you start, because all these things make a difference. Now, obviously, what will happen is you'll start mapping it out and you might be like, oh, that looks ugly, you know, and then you want to change it. That's cool, but do the preparation first and it'll just make your life a lot easier. So that's how I did that. It's just a straight video and nothing else. This one is another section. Now, this is strictly an image on Canva. Now, let me show you. This is let me see if I can find where I created it. Hang on. Okay, there you go. So this one, here is how I did it. Let me just duplicate this page and then I'll actually show you how I did it. So you're going to go to elements and you're going to search for the word frame. Now you'll see a whole bunch of frames here: computer, mobile, this, book. If you ever wonder how to set up a little book like your freebie or PDF, this is how you do it. Really simple. Okay. Now, once you drag and drop it, let's say this is the book, you can go to uploads. Let's find my picture. There you go. You put the picture and it basically puts itself straight in. Now, obviously, if you want to have like an actual book cover, you will create the cover on the correct size. So the correct size will be, let's say, search for book cover like this. And then you will create the cover. And then once you download it, you will then upload it back to Canva here and upload it. So let me just show you a real example. Let's just say this is the cover. Let's just say that we're happy with this cover. Now, this requires tinkering. You might mess it up. It might not look good. You'll have to play around with it, but I just want to do a demonstration. PNG, download it. And now we're going to go back here. And then we're going to drag and drop it here. Here it is. Okay. And this is the book cover. Now, obviously, this looks like doesn't look very good, but the point is that you'll need to tinker with it. And sometimes you can actually tinker with the sizing like this to make it like that. And it actually looks not too bad the way it looks. But again, this requires a little bit of tinkering around with this stuff, okay? So you just need to be aware of that. Now, what I did for this one is, you see this text, website preparation checklist, sales page outline. I simply created it here like that. I downloaded it and I uploaded it back here. So I'm going to detach. Let me just detach this one, the image. So you see, this is the image. Okay. I'm going to put it back. And then I made sure of it, the sizing, because I didn't want it to be stopped from that. Now, this, what I did with this part, the website preparation checklist, I went and I did, let me just show you. So this is the website preparation checklist. And there is a way to make this small like that. So what I did is I increased the size to make it bigger like that. Oops, I went a bit too much. Basically. And then I took a screenshot like this. And then I uploaded it to Canva. Now, here's a little hack for you as well with Canva. You can actually upload it directly once you click it. Let me just do it again because it disappeared before I had a chance. Let's just say I'm going to take a picture of this. And then I'm going to literally grab it and drag it straight in, basically. Okay, so that's another way to just speed up your process. Okay, and in this one, I took the sales page outline, which is this one. I took a picture. Again, I think I just made it bigger, basically. Oh no, what I did is I took a picture of this right here. So I took a picture of this part so people can't, that you can't actually read it, and then I uploaded it. Okay, so that's kind of the how of how I got this little thing. And when I downloaded it like this. Notice that it's page 47. So you go to PNG, click on this button, scroll all the way down, page 47, and then make it transparent background. This is really important because let's just say for a moment, obviously that wasn't the case with me, but let's just pretend for a moment that you want the background to be a different color. So let me just show you. Let's just make it light blue, okay? Because it's transparent, it still looks good. If it wasn't transparent, you would see this as white cover, and it just doesn't look good. So you want to download something like that as transparent, okay? Now, obviously, I didn't want to do it as blue anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But you want to have the options. If you choose to do it that way, you can, okay? So just download as transparent. It will make your life easier. And then here, I did a link. This is a button. This is the next element. It's a button, so you click here. Now on a button, you click on design, pick the one that you want, and only then you start styling it the way you want it. So in this case, again, letter spacing is 1, font 24, bold. I like to buttons, I like to do it bold. It's usually what I do. And make the width, instead of full, you want to make it normal, okay? That's just my preference. And notice that I did a little icon here, icon here. So this is a download icon, and this is a like open in a new page icon. Now I'll show you how to find those icons. So you click here on icon left, and basically you click here, and then here you can actually search. So for example, I was building a horse website for somebody a couple of days ago. If you search for the word horse, you'll find icons to do with horse, right? If you search for dog, you'll find dog. Cat, let's see if we find a cat. Yeah, we got a cat. Let's say we have moon. So we find some moon items. So you can get really clever with your buttons, your bullet points as well. It's another little cool hack. This one is obviously just download. So I just did a download like this. I can also do PDF. I think there's a PDF one as well. Let me just have a look. There you go. So there's a little PDF as well I can do. So there you go. Okay. And then to create this one, I searched for the word link, and then I found this one. Okay. So that's that. Now this one I want to open in a new tab, because remember, I've got 4 call to actions on this page. So every one of the call to actions I have on this website, it is all opening in a new page. Now this one, so this one is another section. Now how it's broken down is, notice how it is. It's the blue. You got the sections, the columns. Here, this is an image. This is a header. This is bullets. And again, the bullets I showed you. So you basically click here on settings, choose the icon. So I just search for the word check. I think that's what I searched for. Yeah, click on that. I can also do something different like this, for example. I don't know why. I mean, it's all like beauty is and design. It's a little bit opinionated. So, you know, pick what you like, but that's kind of how you would do it. And then this is their font. And then one other thing is the spacing of this FAQ. This is really important because the spacing to me is really important. There's a way to do that. Line height, there you go. So by doing line height, let's just make it 0 for a moment. And you'll see it's just awful. If I make it 40, it's just got a better spacing, basically. So I did 30, and this looks really good. So this is really important to do it that way. Now, let me just show you another thing. So you'll notice that when you're creating something that is 2 columns, basically in New Zenler, by default, everything is centered. So what will happen is that by default, let me just show you what happens. By default, it is going to be centered. So this image will be in the middle, and this and of this column. So I wanted everything to be on the same level, same height. So you would go to vertical alignment and click on top, and then we'll push it up basically. Okay. This button, same thing, opens in a new tab, and same thing like I showed you. Okay. Now this one, next section, this one is a headline as well, same thing. Now here's the deal. This is actually an HTML code, which, let me just show you how to do that. You click here on add element, you click on custom HTML, paste the HTML, click on it again, click on settings, click on change content, and then you paste in the code. Now, don't be overwhelmed with the code, okay? You would use that if you want to embed a questionnaire from Google Forms or Airtable or a calendar appointment from Calendly. So let me just do an example of what you could do, just so you can see. So I'm gonna open up. Let me just do my free consult, okay? So I'm gonna open up my Calendly account. Home. I'm just gonna go to my Calendly, and then you'll see how to grab it. This is important because remember, there's 3 reasons you'd have the website: build a list, sell something, make appointments. If you do an appointment, this is a good one to know. So what you want to do is you click on, once you create the Calendly, you click on share, you click on add to website, you want to click on embed inline. This means it's going to be embedded on the website. This means it will be a widget. This one will be, when you click a button, it will pop up. So you want to do embed inline. I mean, you don't have to, but that's what I would suggest. To keep it simple, you're just going to click on copy, go back to the editor, click here, click on change content, paste it in, update, click on save, and then let's see what that looks like. I'm going to open it up, preview it, scroll down, and here it is. Okay, no appointments this month. Click, and it will all be inbuilt basically. Okay, so that's how I have. And notice also, this is important. Notice that my call to actions are very similar. Like, what do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about my courses, my membership/.com tech support membership, my one-on-one done with you services, or my software consultation. So again, this is just about having alignment in your business so you know what it is you're offering. So you would use it for Calendly. You can also do it for surveys as well. That's another great way to do it. So yeah, there you go. Now, this is an embed. This is a really cool little, this is a booklet that basically explains, this is really an explainer booklet that explains, it's like a brochure, an online brochure that I created to explain my entire tech support membership, basically. And you scroll down this way and you can read through the whole thing. Now, let's just go here. You'll notice that I also have a table of content as well. So people can actually look through the booklet and choose the page they want to go to. So for example, if they want to just get straight to the pricing, they can click and it goes straight to the pricing. If they want to learn more about the success path or who it's for, they will click and then they'll see the different examples as well. So this is a little PDF that I have online. Now, this PDF is actually available online as a general thing, but I wanted to embed it on my Zenler website to make it easy. And I'll explain to you the difference. Yes, I can have a link where they click and this opens up. And that's one way to do it. But in this case, with this website on Zenler, I wanted it to be inbuilt because it makes it, I just felt that it looks better that way. And it's one less clicks because you see, there's already one button, two button. There's already a button here. And I rather, instead of having a button that goes to the brochure and go to the sign up page, I have a link that opens up to the sign up page, or in this case, it's the wait list. I prefer that basically, okay? So this was a decision made because of that reason. So this is an embed code of a software that I use for creating online PDFs. And this is a button as usual. Let's go back. We're almost at a wrap. And then this page is headline, bullet points, button, and a picture. Now, let me show you something, little hack, okay? Not a hack, I know people like hacks. What I did, once I created this, and I'm like, this looks good, I love it, I want to use it again. If I'm using it again on this page, I'm simply going to clone it, right? And then click here and move it to the next part of the page that I actually wanted to be a part of, which is exactly what I did. And then all I did is I changed the text and changed the color. So here it's blue. Oh, here it's blue as well. So yeah, anyway, you get the idea. Oh no, it's orange, there you go. So that I did change the color. So you see that I changed it. So that's what I did it, and I just changed the picture. Oh, by the way, let me show you another hack. You might be wondering, where did I get this picture? This is a free resource. Go to undraw.co. Click on browse. Choose the color. Let's say your color is green. And then you got a whole bunch of options here. You can literally pick. There's literally hundreds of them. It is totally free. And again, you can do search. So let's just say you want to post, like a lot of you people here are doing community, like Facebook, private Facebook groups for your customers, right? So you can actually search for the word community and find, let's say this one, something like that, or something like a community. This will be a great picture for a community as an example. So this is a great little place to create all of that stuff. Now I'll show you an example of this website. So this is my one-on-one service. When you click on it, you'll see this is my Zenler page where I explain my entire one-on-one service. And notice I've got all my testimonials, video testimonials, case studies, examples of sites that are built, how it works. And then that's what I used here. Business strategy, plan your business, map your business, help with copy, create lead magnet, optimize your site, build your homepage, create messenger chatbot, integrate Stripe, blah, blah, blah. So this is all really well, like, I'm not showing you something that is just random. Like, this is legitimately what I do and what I do with clients as well. And it just gives it a much better look and feel. Again, here you see the pictures, same thing. Previously I used Airtable for the grid with the clients, but Google Doc for the purpose of how I'm working with people in the group coaching format, it just works better because I can create this little thing like use a template. So it's just better that way. And I think that pretty much covers what I want to share. The footer, the way the footer was created is, yeah, the footer, I'll leave that to another time. I think that's not as, you know, if you want, I got a couple, I'm sure David has a couple of tutorials on YouTube. I've got a couple of tutorials on how to create that banner, like create the cookie policy and how to create the privacy policy and all that and get it generated. So I think I'll leave it at that. So how did we get to all of this? We got to all of this because I'm sharing you the step of reverse engineering. Now, I just gave you the under the hood of the reverse engineering of my Zenler website. Now, that's my website. Somebody might look at my website and be like, I'm not a fan. That's not my style. I don't like it. I like a different one. That's cool. Everybody's different, different niches, different personalities, whatever. But the point is that once you find your inspiration, you want to figure out how was this created, you know? And this is really important. The last thing I want to talk to you about is the building part. And this is, I mean, obviously all the tutorials and the techie stuff with New Zenler, you know, there's so many great resources, but I want to give you a really clear way on how you can build your page in a way that is very intentional, very organized, and will minimize the need for mobile editing. I have very, very little amount of mobile editing, basically. So here's the deal. When we look at Zenler, there is a section, blue, row, green, element, red. Think about, keep that in mind. Blue, green, red. Now, this is so important you understand that process, because this is how you'll basically play with the Legos. This is Lego, that's all it is. It's nothing fancy, it is Lego, okay? And all you gotta do is click on the plus button. Just save. I love doing things live because you have real issues sometimes.
Always, Eran, always.
But anyway, so here is an example. So let's just say you mapped out the template, right? And remember, we mapped out the template for the website right here. And we like, okay, we want this, how we wanted it. So picture, text, blah, 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 okay? So what you would do, you can do a couple of things. You can go to headers and actually find something that matches, or you can go to empty block, click here, and it's going to, first of all, populate the section, the blue, remember, blue. Now, once you've done that, you're gonna click on row, and then you'll have the option to populate half and half. Now, in this case, maybe it's a little bit more like this. Either way, even if you mess it up, that's okay. You can always just click on the green and then just drag it like that anyway. So it's not the end of the world either way. And again, this is one of what makes Zenler so intuitive to build is once you understand, like, let me tell you, when I started with Zenler, I struggled. The moment I got clarity on what I just told you with the colors, blue, green, red, once I got clarity on that, it was so easy, right? So this is really important to understand. Now here you will also do element, and now we're into the red. So we're gonna do image. We'll populate an image example. So let's make this image, for example. It's not a great picture, should be smiling. And then you want to put element. And I think my number of tabs is not contributing to this live, but anyway, click on element. And by the way, if this happens to you, don't get too frustrated. It happens to us all, you know, so it's okay. Just save, refresh your page, log out, log back in, it will sort itself out. So it's okay. I've used multiple platforms, and let me tell you, everybody have little issues like that, and it's okay. Element heading. So I probably wanted to do something else. So let's say Eran Bucai. Next one, we'll do this one. Copy and paste this. And then do the next one. Let's do this one. Now, here, there's a few things you want to consider. Number one, you want to make this on the left, like I had it, right? So you would go to alignment, make it left, click here, alignment, left, click here, settings, alignment, left. Okay. Now, remember how I told you by default, it's all centered. So to make it all at the same level, you're going to click here on settings on the green. It's really important you notice that. Click on vertical alignment and top, and then it will move it up basically. Now, obviously the sizing here, it needs to be bigger. So here, I'm going to click on the gear. I'm going to go here and I'm going to make this 70. And let's just say I want it to be a different color. I'm going to make this orange like that. And then this one, I will make that, let's say, blue. But also notice that I don't have the spacing here. And let's say make that 46, okay? And then this one, again, let's make this one, the spacing a bit better. Okay, and no experience needed. And then under it, there is actually no call to action. I didn't put a call to action, but you can put a call to action, for example. And the call to action on here will be taking a button, clicking on a button. Now, by default, it's going to be the full width. So you want to scroll down and make it normal. Okay. But more importantly, actually, is you want to click on design, choose how you want it. You can do a 3D button. You can do a shadow button. Okay. I personally, like everybody's style is different. I like to use this one, rounded buttons. And then once I'm here, you can do the icon. So let's say this will be a PDF. So let's see, ebook or book, PDF. Okay, good. And then, yeah, that's what that will be. And then go to style and change the color to be something else. If it's more your brand or whatever, let's just make it this color. I don't like the color. So we'll make it red. Now you'll notice there is the thickness as well. So I think if I make this 200, it will be a bit skinnier. Oh no, that's the border. Border thickness. Yeah. Padding. Oh yeah, there you go. Okay, so this is the padding. So I don't want too much padding on mine. 10, 10. And padding on the left, let's make it 15. And this one, we'll make it 15 as well. Now, little thing that you should know, the more you mess around with the spacing, the more you mess around with that, the more painful you're gonna make your life with regards to mobile editing. So I recommend, personally, I try to avoid, like when I build websites, 95% of the time, I never move things like all the way like this. I'd say 95% of the time, I just avoid it. It's just an unnecessary thing. Like, and people can get picky about that. Be like, oh, I want it to look like blah, you know, they're how you want it to look because you feel it's pretty. Look, you want a functional website that delivers your message and makes it extremely clear what it is that you do and what you want your website visitor to do as well. And then here, let's say download freebie. Okay. And then here you would do probably a pop-up in this case, okay? And then the pop-up, I don't have a pop-up set up in New Zenler, in my New Zenler website, but that's what you would probably do in more cases. I think that's going to be, you know, you can look at one of the Zenler tutorials on that. I just wanted to show you a little bit about how you basically migrate it over from your visual mockup to setting something up on the page. So there you go. I'm going to delete this. Oh, by the way, if you create something like this, you can always use it in other pages as well. So for example, I'll give you, this is a really important hack. One of the things that I mentioned at the very beginning is you want to talk to your customers and talk to them a lot, right? And then what you want to do is you want to collect testimonials, which is what I focused on when I got started. Like when I first started online, I didn't even know what to say on my landing pages. I had no idea. So my landing page was only my testimonials and a call to action button. And to this day, I mean, if you go to my Facebook page, to this day, I have one link and one link only, and it's this one. And this link is eranbucai.com/testimonials. And there's a video testimonial. I now have a little bit of text, but otherwise I just have reviews. That's all I have. I didn't even have any copy. And honestly, this was the case for the longest time. Now I have a little bit more, but for the longest time, all I had was reviews. So this is another thing that you can also consider when you're creating your first website. Like, honestly, let your reviews sell for you. You'd do just fine. On the topic of reviews also is, it just makes it a lot easier to do the copy at the beginning, because you really don't know what to say at the beginning. I don't know about you, but I just didn't know what to say at the beginning. And I think a lot of you are in similar shoes, right? So that's a really simple way to just make the text minimal and then testimonials. Let your transformation that you deliver people do the work for you. Yeah, so that's that. Oh yeah, so what I was saying, how I got to that is you can create your testimonial blocks and create really good testimonials, because obviously the testimonials, you can use them on different pages. Once you've done it, click on Save Block as a template. And then I like to label something. So let's say testimonial. And let's say testimonial 1, and then call it template. So then you know it's a template, for example. Okay. Testimonial 2 template, testimonial 3 template. Or if you've got it differently, like Facebook testimonials, for example, versus, let's say, LinkedIn testimonials, or versus Google reviews, right? Label these correctly. It will just make your life a lot easier once you're actually looking for the custom blocks. Now, if you don't know what custom blocks are, in case you didn't realize, this is one of New Zenler's killer features. You click here, you scroll all the way down, and here's custom blocks, and you see all the different custom blocks that you may have saved. Basically, I didn't save much because I don't have much, because I just don't have those, but I've got a one-pager in New Zenler at the moment. So there you go. Let's just go back to my slides. Okay, yeah, so section, column, element. Okay, keep that in mind, and that will make your life a lot easier. So there you go. That's what I had for you for today. Hope you got value from this, and I welcome any questions if we have time. Yeah.
Eran, amazing. I mean, I knew it was a push to do it in an hour, so you've gone 6 minutes over, so kudos to you there. I was expecting just to do a bit of page building, but you've shown us your whole process and breakdown, which I think is actually really amazing. To see that side of it, actually, as we talked about right at the beginning over an hour ago, Eran was talking about how you know, the foundation, setting the foundations before you start the build is such a big part of it. And you can see, like, the other thing about Eran, of course, and this comes across really well with lots of our instructors, they are very, very excited to get on camera and show you this stuff. And that's what I love to see. I could see Eran's mind racing. Shall I show them this? Shall I show them that? It's like, how far do you go?
Exactly. There's a balance between the information overload and wanting to share, right? And I think the key part, the biggest takeaway from all of this is if somebody doesn't have a lead magnet yet, forget everything I taught. Forget it. Go open a Google Doc and freaking get your lead magnet done in the next hour, right? Like take action, you know, like what I showed a lot. Take one piece that you can implement. Don't think about the 17 things I've taught you. One thing and go and freaking take action like in the next hour and share what you've done.
Yeah, absolutely. You set a challenge there, so let's see if people go up to that challenge and start putting it in the post. So if you keep an eye on that, Eran, with any questions. Funny enough, and this is, I want to get this thing across because I think it's really important. When someone's going at speed doing this stuff, one, you can see how competent they are, but the other thing is that you generally, inside of Facebook posts and comments, you don't get many comments. And that's not a bad thing, because that means that people are just looking at what you're doing and they're going to be writing things down. You can guarantee people are going to replay this and be pausing every 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So, because Eran's basically done in an hour and 6 minutes there, which you could easily do a 3-hour live on, for sure, covering those things. You've
This is a course. This is a full course. You can build on that.
You've done a full course.
This is a full curriculum. This is a full 6-page module curriculum.
Yeah.
No question.
Yeah, for sure. So amazing to have you on. That was just, we had Angela before. She was going super speed. We've got you coming in doing super speed. It's like, it's crazy. It's the afternoon. We're supposed to be slowing down.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. Right, well, we finished the day with Zenler Session 2. I want to say a big thank you to all of the people that come on today. So we had Judy, obviously we had our Kevin, we've got Rakesh, Alice, we've got Angela, and we've got Eran to finish us off and put us on a high, get us motivated to get our courses and our lead magnets done and all these sort of things. Definitely put down there. I know Eran will, because he's very active on the Facebook group. So Eran, I know that you'll jump in there and, you know, answer people's questions. While you were doing the presentation, I was putting lots of links in there as well to some of the sites you were mentioning. Okay, so any sites I've missed or anything, if you go in there and drop them in there. Eran's really helpful. He's quite happy to take private messages and all those sort of things as well. And yeah, thank you so much, Eran. It's about time you got on here.
I know, right? It's been a while. And I want to give you guys a big shout out. I work with a lot of tools and so on, and your development process is phenomenal. Like I'm very in the know on other tools as well, not just Zenler and stuff like that. I've got customers from multiple platforms. Your development is phenomenal. Like, you know, the recent feature you put together with the pricing for live, I mean, that's just a game changer. And you know, there's always new stuff that just continues to come out. So yeah, just a great job. And I'm just proud to promote it. Like the fact that I'm using my Zenler site to, you know, do Zenler, it's because this is a platform, like this is a freaking good team and yeah, good platform to help people build their businesses.
Brilliant. So also, like Eran, what do you think? Like, because I've been through pretty much all the platforms. I went through them. Sometimes it's a case that you go through them to find out what people are doing, and I found that one thing that was really lacking with pretty much all of the top platforms was the fact of the page builder, with it not being a true drag and drop page builder. You know, it's always working on the left hand side, seeing things update in the main part of the page, and not a really intuitive experience. And it's more fun, isn't it, on Zenler to drag things around and drag things out? What do you think about that?
Totally. I mean, it depends. There's a couple other platforms that are built similar to Zenler, and they're just as good in terms of how to use it. Very smooth to move things around and stuff like that. But the main thing is a lot of the tools are lacking the custom block. The custom block is a game changer, because the custom block makes it so you can create something one time and replicate that. And that's what makes the speed. So there is upfront work. It's a little bit like active income, passive income, a little bit like there's work upfront, but then there's the passive residual, you know, and I think that's really a game changer. And I find that any platform that catches on that aspect and makes that feature easy, it's a game changer. So I think it's brilliant. And I think the colors being really clear. Number one, understanding that that's how you know. I think that's really important as well. And yeah, I think just overall the whole experience and then the templates, because not everybody wants to start from a blank page like me. Then that's understandable. Because it's extra work. So
yeah, I mean, we've got obviously we've got Page Builder 2.0 coming out, and it's going to have lots of features. Speed is one of the big ones.
Yeah.
So where it takes a long time to load, now it's going to be like really quick, like no additional code going in. Plus the fact there's going to be things in there like being able to hit a button and have pages update. So as far as but all the things that we love about the Page Builder, they will still all be there. It's just going to have this extra functionality that we can move on and add more to. Did you see earlier, we've got Rakesh announced that we've got a true webinar experience now for the lives?
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
So we've got a traditional webinar. So you've got 4. You've got live classes, live interactive webinars, live streams, and webinar, true webinar.
Wow. Wow.
So you got that. We've also, you obviously didn't hear it, but we've also got an app coming out as well.
The which one?
An app. We've got a Zenler app.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So,
oh, wow. There you go. It's the 4th one. There you go.
Yeah.
So which one is it? Is it live webinars, live class, live interactive webinars? So is it live interactive webinars that's the evergreen, the usual one?
Yeah, live interactive is the one we had before where participants show up, but now we've got the true webinar experience. So you can have your hosts in there and they'll show, but none of the participants' names or anything will show. So all the participants can do is basically use the chat or put their hand up. So it's a true traditional webinar experience. And now we've teamed up with Zoom, and that's come in there now. So we got that as a major release update into there.
Wow.
Plus this app, the apps are a big one. And the apps is going to be really great because when you've got it in your site, it hasn't come out officially yet. We just sort of launched and we've got a few people coming through it, but it's going to have the ability to choose 2 templates. So you can choose a dark theme or a light theme. You can put your own logos into it and all these sort of things as well. So when a student goes in, logs in under their email address, they'll then get all the courses they've bought from different instructors or one instructor and access it all through the mobile device. So we're super excited. We're getting
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And that wasn't on the roadmap 6 months ago, or at least not publicly.
Not publicly.
Not publicly.
Rakesh.
That's what I thought. When you released the blog feature and it was a bit of a surprise, I thought they're stashing features. That's good.
We are.
Keep us on our toes.
Yeah, we got some good stuff coming out. I can't wait. So once again, thank you so much, Eran, for coming on. As you can see, Eran is a really friendly character and he's quite happy to help any questions going to the live. So we're going to finish for today. So that is Zenler Session 2. Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
See you later. Take care, mate. Bye.